Hey y'all, hey. Welcome to Thuggin' It Out. Thuggin' It Out is a platform where we create a safe space to acknowledge, experience, and overcome real life issues in a positive and healthy way. This week, we are starting with the Motherhood's panel part 3, and I have a panel full of wonderful ladies. And we just gonna hop in and start off this week with a mental check-in because we all know we moms, and I just want to always be the person that makes sure everybody is okay. If ain't nobody asked you this week how you doing, I'ma ask it. So, Danny, how are you this week?
Um, can't really complain. I'm okay. Um, Blake kind of irritated me because he spent $100 on Xbox today and I didn't authorize
Ooh.
it. But besides that, I'm all right.
Riley got a bad habit of like filling my Target cart with BS.
Oh
Like
Lord.
it'd be like $500 worth of stuff. If I don't catch it, you just like, okay, I got a few items to just click, click.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that before. One time she ordered a pool. We ain't even got a yard for no pool, G. That pool was like $300. And I called Target stuff as like, I did not do that. That's unauthorized. Like, don't
Okay.
send me no fucking pool. Like, no. But man, I feel your pain. Tiffany, how are you?
I'm all right. My week been a little up and down because my baby, she got eczema. And so it be times when she break up real bad. And she broke out so bad and she kept me up all night. Then the morning time, it was time for school. She was still itching. So I had to hurry up and take her another oatmeal bath. Then she missed
And
picture day. So I'm just like, man.
it's
But
just
other than
been one of
that,
the weeks.
I'm okay because my mama got us, so now I got a little break. So I'm cool.
Always good for a babysitter. I wish I had one. D, how or Quisha? How are you?
Oh, I think this week I had a bunch of anxiety, angry, all type of feelings. Leah got a call from school that she fell 7 feet off of the playground equipment and hit her head first. So she had a ride to the hospital in the ambulance. So all type of feelings. And to come to find out, she was pushed. It wasn't an accident. So
Wait a minute.
yeah. So I
Another
have
kid pushed her?
feelings. Yes.
And what they gonna do?
I'm gonna find out Monday.
That's crazy. You don't play about the babies. Like,
Yeah,
don't play about the babies. It's
yeah.
crazy because Jamal had a fight this week too.
Real.
And it was with a white kid. And the white kid was like apparently racist. And
Mm.
like it's crazy because I know we're in the South, but it's like, come on now, it's 2023. And like this white boy was one that like on Halloween came to school with like a Nazi, dressed up as a Nazi. And he just like a little racist little boy. He just been picking at Jamal. And it's just like, you don't like nobody mess with your kids.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
like,
yeah, and so the little girl that did it, this isn't the first incident, and she has behavioral issues, but it's not gonna be at the expense of my child. So we're gonna see about it Monday.
that's crazy. Yeah, I don't like that.
Plus, she has an implant in her head. She can't have any head injuries, so they had to do a CAT scan.
Oh.
Was she okay though?
CAT scan came back good. She was just afterwards having bad headaches. So
We're gonna have to go fuck a little kid up.
I know you
And
want
her
to
mom.
slap the shit out that little girl. I'm
yeah,
so sorry that happened to your baby.
I
yeah.
know.
Brooklyn already said that she was gonna roll up to the school with Leah. Tell Riley to get her stuff together.
Okay, and where your mom at? Cause like, why is your daughter
We're
pushing kids off a
already,
playground? That's so
and they won't
weird.
facilitate. They won't facilitate because this is the third incident. So I already had an encounter with this child before, and they won't facilitate a meeting between me and the parents. They said they don't do that any longer, or
What?
because of conflicts, or maybe they scared I'm gonna pull over across the table. I might, but they won't facilitate a meeting. So
But if this is this child third time doing something to a kid, wouldn't this like take this child out and separate them from like the rest of the group because they being
They don't
disruptive?
they don't know that I know that the little girl pushed her. They trying to sweep it under the rug, and Leah wasn't talking about it at first. So when she was ready to start talking about it, she told me she was playing with the little girl, and I knew once she said her name, it was some BS. And I was like, well, who pushed you? And I don't remember. So yesterday we went, she had like a little movie night at school. I volunteered because I don't trust them with my baby. So I volunteered up there, and she's sitting like with one of her friends. And I asked the little girl, I'm like, was you outside? And honestly, I wasn't expecting the other little girl to say this. I was just like, was you outside when Leah fell the other day? Was it scary? She's like, yeah, so-and-so pushed her. I'm like, that's what I suspected. Okay. So I know if you're talking, these kids are talking to me like that. I'm pretty sure they told them that too. So
yeah, because now it's giving up. Now y'all trying to have some. Like,
yeah.
Lord, I'm gonna pray for you.
You
and I'm gonna pray for your patience. I'm gonna pray for your patience because I already know that's like I'm gonna catch a case. Like, not my baby. Like the fuck.
Right.
Well, that's my week. Snap on them one good time, and they'll understand the assignment. My baby had that same bullying problem, and I went up there and snapped out. I couldn't hold it in no longer, and they got it together. But why should it take for us to snap out for y'all to get this together?
Yeah.
Exactly. But especially Leah in kindergarten. These are babies still.
Exactly. And I try to keep my, composure. They already have this preconception of us and Black mothers. So, I try to keep it cute, but, they're going to see another side. But me, I'm not going to go Inglewood Quisha on them. I'm a lawyer up on them.
Definitely. Because, yeah, you got to play that game.
Well, I think you should go Inglewood Quisha because if it happen again, your baby can seriously get hurt and won't be able to come back from that.
Yeah, anything could have happened that time. Falling 7 feet off playground equipment. She could have cracked her skull. She could have broke her neck. She could have been paralyzed, so.
Yeah, them people playing.
And who was the teacher? That was their PE teacher that was watching them play?
No, so they go outside for recess, which I don't understand when it's 20 degrees outside, but that's their policy. If it's 20 degrees and the wind chill isn't below 10, they still go outside for recess. So they have the teachers' aides out there with them during the time. So
what was her antennas at?
She said, what did she say? She says she didn't see exactly what happened. She says she don't know if Malia was bumped or pushed, and she just seen her as she was falling. So I'm asking questions like, how did she land? Did she land directly on her head? Because even her face is swollen and all scratched up over here. So I'm like, how did she land or whatever? She's like, I don't know. She just looked like a little rag doll. I just ran over there and picked her up real quick. But she alluded to, I don't know if she was bumped or pushed, but you're gonna have to run those cameras back.
Yeah, they gotta handle that. They gonna get what they're looking for.
Yep.
I'm gonna pray for you though, and I'm gonna pray for them because I don't want you to be in jail because they gonna call the police. So we already know we gotta play it safe
because they always look at like, oh, her mom, she's not gonna do anything. No, nigga, I'm finna snap the fuck out. Cause y'all no, and I'm pretty sure this little girl do this to any other little kid too, and y'all don't do nothing about it. So now it's time for me to snap on y'all ass. Girl, I'm mad at that because it's just like, you just told us her situation. It's like y'all could have really messed her up. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like that.
She could have been seriously hurt. It's like the risk is. It's like, come on now, you gonna put my child in this unsafe situation in school? Like it'd be different if it was something else. Like you're in school. How the fuck am I gonna send my child to school to learn and she end up in the hospital?
And how you not multitasking? If it's one group of kids playing, you have your ass everywhere. Just have your ass going in any direction where them kids playing.
Plus, if they're that high, it's like a bridge, like this little playground, and it's like a bridge that they can go across, and in the bridge is an opening if they want to slide down the pole. So she was pushed through the opening. Like,
You know what? It's getting worse as I hear more, and my
Yeah.
blood pressure going up.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like,
said I'm ready to look the school up my damn self.
okay,
Y'all
like you
my
finna have
auntie.
me sitting there. I'll beat you at the
Shit.
school too.
Uh-huh.
Like, this is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Lord have
Kind
mercy.
of woosah. That's how my week been.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take a deep breath on that one because I
Yeah.
mean my blood pressure high too now. God damn. Bianca, how are you?
I'm good. This week started off a little rough. Um, Brooklyn got a heart issue, so her body is really sensitive, so she has a low immunity, and like doing the smallest stuff, her heart can just stop on her. So when she's sick, she's like really sick, like a common cold for us isn't a common cold for her. It take her forever to get over. And when I took her to school Monday, she was like coughing a little bit, gave her medicines, gave her a treatment. She was okay. She went to school. They went outside on the coldest day of the week. I don't get it, but Brooklyn ended up throwing up and they said she couldn't come back. And I'm just like, okay. It's not like a, I don't know how to put it. Like, it's not like a flu or anything. It's just her body takes forever to get rid of the cold. So at this point, you got the papers from the doctors or whatever. I just don't know what you want me to do.
So they want her to go
So
back to school?
they were saying like she had to miss a day or two as policy for her to be able to come back, the rest of the week. And I'm just like, okay. I called the doctor. We had a little Zoom call or whatever. And the doctor was just like, honestly, it's a cold. I don't know what they want you to do. They got all the papers for her heart and all of that. They know our numbers or whatever. So, you know, she was ready to go back to school. I took her back to school. She finished the week out strong. But it's just every other month is something. Because it take her forever. And when she okay, she good. And then she go back to school. The kids be dirty or whatever be going on with people. People, you know how people just not, whatever. Kids be coughing, adults be coughing, don't nobody wash their hands, and now she's sick.
Germs.
Yeah. So it's just always a never ending cycle of making sure she has to be overly clean and all that stuff. So, but I'm good today.
That's good. I'm gonna hope Brooklyn have a better week next week. But I
Fingers
don't know. I feel
crossed.
like Thanksgiving just fucked up everybody week. I'm
Okay.
blaming it on Thanksgiving. I feel like Thanksgiving, them days off rolling into this week, it was like just gone to shit.
Agreed.
Denisha, how are you? We can't hear you. Mm-mm. Okay, she gonna come back in. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Um, I got finals coming up, so I'm just trying to like juggle new baby, work, school. I mean, but I'm all right though. I feel like
Baby sleeping good?
no, I don't know. I don't know. We switched from the powder formula to like this ready to feed because it's a little cheaper. And like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the powder formula was like coating his stomach better, so he was staying asleep a little longer. But this ready to feed, he up like every 3 hours again. So I don't know. Maybe he just trying to get used to it, but or maybe I need to like feed him more, but not yet. In the process.
Oh, well, he gonna start sleeping eventually. I hope.
How
Like,
many months he is?
Yeah, that part. Well, we gonna yeah.
how many months is he? I ain't 3 months.
Yeah, he just turned 3 months.
Oh, he a new baby.
Yeah, he's still a little bubba.
Oh.
Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you about Ryan. Then I ain't gonna throw it in your face.
Girl, you been telling me he's sleeping through the night.
I, he been sleeping through. My baby fat as hell. I put cereal in that bottle and everything. Like, eat so you could be full, so you could go to sleep.
Nah, for
And
real.
but my son just lazy. Like being Romeo, even the teacher, they was like, this baby is just so lazy. He just be laid back. Long as he eat, only time he cries when he hungry. Other than that, he's just sitting around looking like this is life. Like, this is what I can't. Like, he just be so not interested in life. He just be like, this is boring.
Well,
So,
that's good. What age? What month did you start putting the cereal in the bottle?
like 4 months.
All right, we'll get
And his
some.
teacher, like I told you, he in daycare. He got like an older African teacher. And she was like, he needs baby food. Start putting something in his body. He not like he's hungry. He's hungry. Boys eat a lot. And she got like this accent. I'm like, I'm gonna put it in there. But then she kind of forced me to do it. But shit, that should help. His ass really be sleeping. And I mean, he fat. He ain't got no neck, but he sleep.
I bet I'm gonna start doing it soon because his pediatrician told me like you could start like implementing like small things if you wanted to now. So I'll probably start with that.
I mean, it's up to you. I know it helped me. I don't know how. And then I think he grew out of the throwing up because I know I told you about the time when every time he eat, he was just throwing up. I don't know. I guess after like 5 months, he kind of stopped slowing down throwing up. He throw up sometimes, like these kids around here shaking him, but other than that, he don't really be throwing up.
Well, I heard that the cereal help with spit up too, and he be spitting up a lot. So I'm gonna try it. I just haven't tried it yet, but I heard it work with spitting up too.
Oh yeah, it sure stopped him because he used to piss me off. It'd be like you sitting there and he'd just projectile like X's his vomit on you. You'd be like, now I gotta change my sheets. Now I gotta change my clothes. Like one morning, I think this was like 2 weeks ago. I had got us together, all three of us, to walk out the door. This man sat in a car seat and projectile vomit all over himself. Well, it was coming down the car seat. It was all over him. I was late for work. I had to sit there and clean out the car seat. It wasn't wet. I had to put some stuff in there to leave out the house. I was just so over it. I was like, see, this is why I'm not having no more kids. Like, he almost got left at the fire station that day because I was real pissed. I was just like, really?
Got your little birth control.
Period. Every day. Reminder every day. Denisha, how are you?
I'm doing okay. You all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm doing okay. Still tired. I think that's part of motherhood, just being tired but still like pushing through because we have so much to do. So I'm really just in that mode of I'm looking for ways to rest myself and I can't. Like that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when we supposed to sleep, but
How old your baby is?
She 4 and she like at this she's like older, like she's becoming more, I guess, independent, but she busy. She's always into stuff. She always have an attitude. She's learning to talk back. Like, I be want to wring her neck, but I can't. Like, it's like I'm learning to understand her, and it's draining in a way because it's also making me look at myself too. So I guess that's kind of what it is. So
yeah,
it's
I
like,
think girls hit different. I
Yeah,
think
you
they
should
just
get
hit
you some
different.
rest. Look, put all her toys in front of her, lock her in the room, girl. Don't take a nap.
I do that. I truly do. I do. But then sometimes I feel bad about doing it.
Don't feel bad. She not in no harm's way. Y'all in the house. You need a nap. Hey.
Yeah.
How does
These
that
kids,
work? Because Malia ain't going for that. How does that work?
Well, she sometimes do it and sometimes don't. Like it's times when I am taking a nap and she'll come jump on me, like pull my eyelids up. It was one time she took a picture of me. So like now it's like she's like terrorizing. She found different things to do while I'm asleep.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm asleep, but I'm not asleep because I'm still listening. Like, what is she doing? Like, why is it so quiet right now? Or lower your voice. Like, it's yeah.
I don't remember the last time I've taken a nap. I can't take a nap with her. I don't
Really?
take naps throughout the day. I know Danielle, you sleep throughout the day. I can't take naps throughout the day. I don't remember the last
So around when they get around 7, 8 for sure, that's when you could do it for a good hour, hour and a half. And they'll come check on you, but not like bother you, if that makes sense. So Blake would be like, Mom, like he'll tap me, Mom, you good? I'm like, yep, just taking a little nap and go about his business. I can still hear him. But around 7 for sure, 8, that's when they really become independent. Like they can go get their own snacks, they can go to the bathroom by themselves. Like they'll come see what you doing before you go see what they doing. So
Yeah. I think it's definitely that age because I mean I could take a nap if I want. I used to be able to take a nap with Jamal and Riley in the house, but now that baby just we sleep together. If he sleep, I'm sleep. But I don't know, Riley different. She like a grown woman, so I go to sleep on her. And if I wake up and she fucks some shit up, it's just like clean it up. I'm not fit to clean it up. Like you did it, you messed it up. But she not even really like one of them. If anything, she just then probably ate all the snacks, probably then got in some makeup, and that's about it. It's like all the juice is gone, all the food gone, and she got a face full of makeup. So it's like, I mean, hey, go wash your face. She'll be all right.
Do y'all take naps like during the week or on the weekend or both?
The weekend.
I take a nap every day.
It
Weekend for
depends on the
sure.
day.
My baby be at school, so that's when I get my naps in.
I don't feel like I don't have no opportunity. Like when she at school, I'm working, and then I pick her up from school. We do homework. I'm taking her to cheer practice. By the time we get home, it's like 8 o'clock. So I don't have a chance. I'm jealous.
Nah, it's definitely a weekend thing for me too. Cause
Yeah.
like during the week, we up from 5 to 9 every throughout the week.
Yeah.
So it's like we go to sleep, we going to bed. But the weekend, I get a little leeway. And plus, me and Romeo just sometimes just go to sleep on these kids. I mean, it's sad to say, but shit, it'd be like they'll be all right. And then if
Right.
they ain't, then we just wake up and it's like we got some shit to clean up, or you done had like 5 bags of chips and had all. It's like okay,
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't gonna hurt, but I don't know. We'll get some sleep eventually. We're gonna start it off strong with a video. I want to see what y'all think about this.
I know my mother made a mistake putting her kids first.
Wow. What should she have done?
She should have put herself first, not us first.
Why?
Because she was more worried about five little kids than her own dreams. When I watched my dad die, left her to run everything. He died suddenly, and she never dated again.
Wow.
It's not enough for a human being. You can't be happy just living for kids that are going to move out. I know my mother made a mistake.
So, are you willing to make yourself a priority? Because, like you said, for the past few motherhood panels, the recurrent thing for a lot of us mothers is our kids, our kids, our kids, and it's always about our kids. But we are still women, we are still people outside our kids. Like we love our kids, but we sometimes don't prioritize ourselves. So, are you guys willing to make yourself a priority or even follow your dreams?
Currently in the process.
What
Like,
does
yeah,
that?
absolutely. I think just becoming self-aware and knowing that I haven't been doing that, and I've got things that I want to do that's just sitting there. I got talents that's just being wasted just because I prioritize being a mom above my own personal dreams and goals. So now I'm cleaning up house. Whatever don't suit me or whatever I'm trying to do, my goals, my dreams, gots to go. And that's just what I've been doing. So yes, I'm in the process.
Amen to that. Because I am definitely one of these people that it's like, if you can't hop on the train, then you can left. And that's kind of, I feel like with anything, I'm really in the phase in my life where I'm just really selfish. It's like, I'm getting serious with me. Like, of course, my kids gonna always be taken care of because we're mothers. It's like an innate behavior. They gonna get taken care of regardless, but it's one of them standpoints that I'm in that it's like I have to take care of Kenya and figure out what Kenya want to do so I could be happy and healthy so the kids can reap the benefits of my health and my wellness. Danny, do you think you make yourself a priority?
that's something that I have struggled with. One more so because I don't have that village to say, okay, you know, here, let me get Blake, take some time for yourself. And, you know, sitting back and actually looking over it, because I can go off of my mom and I can go off my grandma. Like, my grandma's kids and her grandkids was her life. There was nothing else, you know what I mean? And then, you know, she found her niche in doing water aerobics or going to Christian conferences. But it was like, it took until she was in her 60s, damn near, to prioritize herself. And the same with my mom, even though I was an only child, like, I don't have any great stories about my mom. Like, my mom, oh, she, you know, did salsa dancing, or my mom traveled every year and did this. Like, I literally don't have anything to say about my mom, and I don't want that to trickle down to my son. Like, I want him to be able to say, you know, mommy was happy, mommy did this, mommy achieved that, on top of, you know, being a mother, and not just recognizing me for just being a mother and the strength that comes with it. Like, it's more to it. I'm a, yes, but I'm Danielle, and was Danielle before I was a mom. So I should still continue to be Danielle during the phase and after. Because I don't know if y'all saw on Snapchat yesterday, I had put, like, I realized I'm in the middle stage of parenthood, because he'll be 10. And I'm like, damn, he'll be gone at 17, 18, away to college.
Mm-hmm.
Years. What in that time frame, what can I do? You know what I mean? Because after he's gone, being a mom is just the routine. So even now, like, sometimes when he be gone on the weekends, I'd be like, what do I do with myself? Like, I don't really have friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I got into knitting. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could, you know, crochet some stuff, or even if it's just to go get my hair and my nails done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's definitely something that needs to be prioritized for sure.
Yeah. I agree with the hobbies. I'm trying to find the hobbies and try to make friends, but I learned that at 29, it's hard making friends. I ain't gonna lie. It's just one of the phases where it's like, it's awkward now. It was easier when we was kids. It seemed like it was like, okay, I like that. We like that. We can be friends. But I feel like at 30, it's
It
harder to
is,
make
because
friends.
it's like
Oh
people
yeah.
are like, they're on different paths. And with me personally, I work from home, so
Mm-hmm.
literally, like, I don't go nowhere unless I'm taking Blake to school and back. So it's like, okay, how do I do that?
But
Yeah.
not only that though, like what I found out is just people are fucking weird, period.
And they in the
And
deep sleep.
once you get to a certain point in your life, it's just like certain shit is unacceptable. So it's just a mental thing, but a maturity thing. Like, I don't fuck with people if we not on the same level. Like, if we not, if I could tell you're not a mature person, we can't be friends. Just cause you gonna be there wait to me in the shit that I'm trying to do. And I ain't
Yeah.
got time to teach nobody or be nobody mama. I need a sisterhood. I need a friend. I need somebody to lean on, somebody that I can trust. But, you ain't getting that nowadays. So if you ain't got family, you ain't got shit. So it's
Yeah.
better to be by yourself and self aware. Like, I think that's the biggest thing for me. I can't fuck with nobody if you're not self aware about shit.
Yeah. I mean,
That whole victim thing, I
accountability.
can't, thank you. I can't do that. That's the reason why. And it's most females just, I ain't, about fucking niggas to get money or whatever. Like, I ain't got time for that.
And
And I
they'll
think
try
it's
to come
even
in your
worse when
life
you
and
become
steal your
married.
life. Shit.
Hmm? What'd you
I
say,
said they'll
Tiffany?
try to come in and steal your life and be jealous of you and copy your ideas. Just the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Envy.
definitely weird. And I think when you become married, I think that's a whole different ball game too. Because I'm recognizing more and more that single people and married people, like, you could be friends with them, but it don't necessarily align. Because it's like we in two different lanes. You still want to go find niggas and be a nigga's face. It's like I already got one. I got a husband. Like he at home. So no, I don't want to be in somebody's club. I will go to have a good time, but not no every weekend thing. And I don't want to be surrounded. Like it's just a different energy that you kind of carry when you married, especially then when you got kids. It's like certain things. Like I don't know. It's kind of harder, but I guess that's
Maturity.
definitely
That's just
maturity.
basically what it bounces based off. Like, if you're not mature, I cannot hang with you, kick it with you, skate with you, nothing. I'm gonna leave you where you at. Like I just can't. I'm gonna
Yeah,
end up fucking you up off
that part.
principle. Off principle though.
Yeah, that's
Tiffany,
true.
are you willing to make yourself a priority? Have you been making yourself a priority?
No, I have a struggle with that because my daughter, she's 8, and I want a career and shit like that, but it's like I can't do nothing. I honestly told myself like, well, maybe when she get older, you can like follow your dreams and do whatever you want to do because it's number one the babysitting situation. She get out of school at 3:45, so when I'm not working at the moment, so I got a lot of time on my hands and I got a lot of thoughts and ideas of what I want to do. But it's the babysitting situation because it's like when I was just working two, because like I was doing security for like 7 years and like the most 6 years I did overnight. And my last job I was just with, I did 2 to 10. That was my first time doing second shift. And it was cool, but it's just like I want to be there when she get out of school, help her for homework, and then put her in the bed. So that's the struggle that I'm struggling with. I haven't made myself a priority because it's all about Naraya, and I don't have a babysitter. So maybe she get older, I can really follow my dreams. Cause like she'll be independent. Like I want her to be able to get in her own car, have her own job while I do my thing. But it's like I can't do it right now because I don't have a babysitter. And then when she be at school, I be bored. Like I need a hobby. I just like I don't know what to do. The only thing I do is like I get in the tub and I meditate, and I just stay in the dark a lot. I've been in the dark a lot, just like talking to God, praising my ancestors, and trying to heal myself. But making myself a priority, that's a struggle like right now.
Maybe it's time to get up and get out. I feel like you said that you don't have the time, but you also said that in the right be at school during the day. So I feel
But
like
see, look,
maybe
and see, look, I'm going through some shit because I lost a lot of shit. Like I lost my job, I lost my car. I'm there. I'm not gonna get on no bus. I only get on the bus to take care of business. But it's like oh, excuse me, I don't have no friends to like come and get me and take me to do shit. So it's like I'm just really stuck in the fucking house just with a bunch of thoughts and ideas of what I could be doing, what I should be doing. And it's like my thoughts be tearing me down sometimes. Cause sometimes I talk to myself being like, how the fuck you lose this and you had it good? I talk to myself real bad sometimes and then sometimes I uplift myself. So I'm just like I just feel stuck right now. And it makes me real sad. And so I'm trying to get it together, my mental, but I ain't really doing shit for myself right now, but just being a mom.
yeah, I'm gonna send you some books. Maybe you getting a different perspective because I got a lot of books. Y'all know I'm like the self help queen. I got so many books. I'm gonna send you some to see if that
Okay.
can help you get in a different mind space. But also too, maybe you should look into getting into some type of therapy. My therapist, we breaking up because the bitch is moving to Phoenix, and I did call her a bitch because I'm still a little upset about it because I feel like it's hard finding a good therapist, but maybe you should be open to that because I know the stigma around black people, don't nobody want to go to therapy, they think it don't work,
I
but
would like to go.
I think it's very beneficial. And some, if you it's a lot of all you gotta do is call your insurance and kind of see what they will take and they will find you somebody. But it's definitely worth it. And I think it can make one hell of a difference. Cause I was one of the people that said, fuck therapy, I ain't crazy, I ain't talking to nobody. But now I swear by it. And I just see the growth and a change in my mindset and a change in how I feel about myself, about just my perspective and everything. So maybe therapy could be something that could definitely help you kind of push you into the right direction.
And I also have a struggle with I have scoliosis. So it's like my back is fucked up. Like my spine is like curved to the right at the top. and I kind of it's getting worse. So I don't know if I got a tumor, but I go to the doctor next week and I'm gonna see what's going on. And that's like fucking up my life too because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to work again when I get older because I'm ain't nothing but 32 years old and my back is like fucked up. Like my shit be aching so bad to the point where I have to ball up under the covers and cry at night. Then I take up all my medicine. I don't want to get used to that because the side effects, like if I get used to that and take it for years, if I try to stop, I start having seizures. So it's like that's
Yeah.
why I'm fucked up at too, like about my back and what I'm gonna do with my life. So, but
We're
I'll
gonna get
be
it
okay.
together. You're gonna be okay, Tiffany. We're gonna get it together. D, are you how do you feel about your dreams and do you think that you make yourself a priority?
I feel like making myself a priority doesn't come natural. Like when I do make myself a priority, it's a struggle. It's a fight, you know. I'm not gonna say that I'm just completely just throwing myself out because y'all will see I do have a lot of childhood friends, and you might see me at a lot of events or birthdays or sometimes trips and things of that nature. So in a sense, yes, but it doesn't come natural. It's a fight, it's a struggle. I make a million excuses why not to do something or why I can't do something, whether it's because of Leah or my husband or this or that. And sometimes I don't have the energy because I'm literally running off fumes, throughout the week. I don't even want to, I don't have the energy to even want to do anything for myself. My making myself priority may be, okay, I got 1 hour before I pick Leah up to school. Let me lay down and watch. Don't laugh. I still watch General Hospital. Let me lay down and watch General Hospital at 2 o'clock. That makes me happy.
That's your self-care.
So I do sometimes when I'm forced to, if I don't have a choice, it's somebody's birthday or somebody's birthday trip, but it just don't come naturally. But you made a watching that video, it gave me a good perspective or a different perspective because when I think about my mom or whatever, or how everything that she sacrificed, how she didn't have a life or go after her dreams, I would want her to be at this age at a different position in life. I would want to say, my mom did this, my mom did that, or whatever. I know back then she was probably thinking like, I'm doing the best, I'm doing this for the best interest of my children. But when you think about it, if you're not in a good space and you're not accomplishing your goals and you're not happy inside, or, it's hard to make anybody else happy. You can't make somebody else happy if you're not happy with yourself. So I think in a way, like making yourself a priority and making yourself happy is the best interest for your children. So
I mean, I could see that because I even feel the way about my mom because it's like sometimes you get this sometimes you get like these overprotective moms that just want to beat they think your life is their life
yeah.
because they don't have a life because they spent their whole life just making you
Yeah.
focus. So it's
Right.
like it comes off as selfish for us when we like, bro, this is my life. You have your
Hmm.
life. You should do something for you. But
Yeah.
they don't know how because they spent their whole life just making their kids their life.
Yeah.
So it gets this like weird thing when it's time for them to let go and to move on that they can't.
Yeah.
And I promise y'all, I do not want to be like that. I don't want to
You
be
Mhm.
headed
stressing
down
out
that
your
way.
life
You
with my
gotta
life.
you gotta get
I
a
do not
life for
want to do
you.
her like that. She gonna be like, Mama, really?
I'm trying to tell you, it's problematic because you see so many moms like they mean well, but then it comes off as being a little jealous. It comes off as being catty. It comes off as like, lady, you ain't got a life.
Resentful. They seem resentful.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
seemed like now you upset at me because I'm living my life when you
Mhm.
can live yours, but you feel like you missed it because
Right. So
we was
now
young.
you just trying to control me and live through me in my life and tell me what to do and how to do it.
It's problematic. That's why I feel like we, in order to break that curse, because that's what our goal is, we got to start making us a priority. Now, I'm not saying say fuck your kids because we love our kids, but it
Mhm.
has to be some type of balance where it's like, okay, I'm taking care of me, but I'm taking care of my kids too. It got to be some type of separation there, that we have like a life
And
outside
even
our
when I
kids.
do try to do stuff, you know, with my mom, I get the side, oh, you gon' like for instance, if I go I travel for work, and so if I come back and something's going on that weekend, oh, you gonna leave, Malia? Wasn't you just gone for work? Or, you gonna do this or that, or you not gonna be home by a certain time? Or no, like she'll be okay, you know, she has a father. She'll be okay. It's not like I'm leaving her by herself. She's 5. She's in good hands. Like I still have to live my life, but it's that mom guilt that she tries to
Hmm.
put on me because she didn't do those things, or
Hmm.
she never went out, or so it's a lot of that.
Yeah, we definitely gotta. I don't want to be that mama. Like I told myself now, like I'm gonna be able at 18 when they go off to college. I'm gonna be the parent that's gonna be like, "You off to college? Now I'm off to Europe somewhere because I did my job. I want you
Hmm.
to go live your life, and I'm finna go continue to let mine because we are both humans. Like, yeah, I'm your mother, you my child, but you your own person, and I'm my
Hmm.
own person, and that's okay."
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why, as mothers, people think that our life gotta be so consumed with our kids.
Hmm.
Like, we had them for 9 months, we done birthed them. We not just gonna say forget them. It's
Right.
like, well, we can have some type of identity outside of that. Even when it comes to being a wife, because I feel like that's a
Mhm.
whole nother sandbag too. That is, feel like as soon as you say I do, that everybody be like, but you're a wife though. Like, yeah, I'm a wife,
Yeah.
but I still am a person.
Yeah. It's a whole nother set of obstacles, or I'm not going to say like marriage or kids is an obstacle, but how we're saying like it's hard for us to do stuff because of our kids. But when you add a husband on top of that, it's like it's hard to do stuff because of my kids and my husband. I have to make time for them, for my kids, for my husband, and somehow in all of this chaos try to find some time for myself, right? To
Yeah,
have an
like,
identity outside of being a mom or outside of being a wife, right?
man, I just want to know who came up with these rules, because it's like we're talking about. I'm just getting overwhelmed. Like, this is some BS. Like, who came up with this? Like, who legit came up with this? This is crazy.
I honestly feel like the old times did. Like, like back in the day when women
Mhm.
stayed at home with the kids, they took care of everything. That's where like we are like breaking that. Like we ain't doing this shit here. Like so to answer the question though, like um I'm like in that path of like making myself a priority, because coming into motherhood I like realized that like I wanted to do everything because that's kind of like the household that I was brought up in, so kind of like just matching that, but I don't want to match that. Like I want to be able to know who I am, and that's like the path that I'm on right now, just to learn like what it is that I enjoy. I do know that I enjoy like that a long time, because like Bianca, I don't like the bullshit. Like all that weird shit, I'm not with, and I just rather be by myself because I know I can trust me. So, it's also just about getting out too. So I'm learning like what type of social outings I like, the ones that I don't like, and just being able to like pivot through that. But that's just something on my to-do list, honestly.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's really one of them things where it's like, yeah, I'm a good ass mama, but I'm also Kenya. Like, they are two different entities. Well, really, I'm three different. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I'm Kenya. Like, they all separate, but they all together. I know it sounds like a contradiction, but I mean that's just what it is.
Yeah, I think it's just learning to merge them all, because we are like complex people. Like we have these different roles. So it's just being able to be everything and still do everything.
Yeah, it's legit that. Alex, are you making your dreams a priority? Are you making you a priority?
So I feel like I am. I've been really blessed to have like a good support system here. So I've had the opportunity to like still go to school, because I thought I'm still early in my motherhood, so I can't say what 5, 10 years gonna look like. But right now, like I got a good support system where I do get like me and my husband want to take like a little go out to eat. We can take him to his grandmother's house for a couple of hours. Or when I got a lot of homework, my husband is really supportive with that. And like, he knows I really want to finish nursing school. So like, he helps a lot with that. So I feel I remember when I was pregnant, one thing like was really sad about. I'm like, damn, like, am I gonna still be able to like be me, do the things I want to do? Like, my life is now a mother, like, because like somebody else said, like, that's what I saw in my mom. Like, me and my sisters was my mom's everything. Like, she didn't really have much of a social life. It was work and her kids, and that was everything. And when I started to get closer to having my baby, I'm like, dang, like, am I gonna have a life? Like, am I gonna still socialize? Like, and I do feel mom guilt, like, dang, I should spend more time with my son. But I know that, like, taking care of me and doing the things I want to do, like y'all said, that's gonna make me the best mom. Because if I'm sitting there regretting, like, dang, I should have went to school, or dang, I should have did this, or I really need a break. I already know how I am when I get overwhelmed, I get stressed. Like, I'm not going to be able to show up the way I need to for him. So I feel like I'm really trying to make myself a priority. And I've been blessed with like a really good support system so I can do that. So if I'm not doing that, it's only because I'm making my own excuses to not do it, in my opinion.
The support system helps though. I'm happy that I love that for you. Like, you need that to help you really navigate marriage, childhood, mother, all that. So the support system is great. I love that for y'all. Cause me and my husband, we gotta sneak and leave our kids somewhere. If we want to do something, we gotta do it down like when the kids sleep or whatever until they get to a certain age. I mean, I'm looking at getting into a nanny, but I'm still like, I don't know if I really trust a lady in my house, because I'm not going to trust a man because I have a daughter, which I know sounds sexist, but I'm not. And I don't know if I really trust a woman to be like in my house, in my space, watching my kids. So we'll get there eventually. But
I tried that. It was weird.
you tried what?
I tried a nanny before, like when
How was it?
Kind of like, I think when she was around 6 months or whatever, we just was not able to keep juggling between the two of us working, and it was weird. I felt like she was sneaky with a lot of things, so I set up like a nanny cam and a clock or whatever. And it was the weirdest thing. Like, she would keep like complaining, like Leah was hitting her, or well, keep in mind she was only like, so she watched her from like maybe 6 months to 9 months or something like that. Like, why do you keep telling on a 8-month-old or a 7-month?
And how is she hitting you? Like, she a baby.
Just crazy stuff. I don't know. It was weird. And then she kept calling off a lot or whatever, because whatever she was going through. But every time that she would call off, it would make me have to call off from work. And then it just so happened that my mom injured herself at work, and my mom, she couldn't stand the lady, so she made me fire her, and she started watching her own grandchild. But it was weird. It was awkward. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, see, and I live in a predominantly white area, so it's like more than likely the lady gonna be white.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know. It's like, I don't know. We gonna figure it out eventually. But I got another video for y'all. See what y'all think about this one. This one gonna be interesting.
Listen to that again.
And for my recovering people pleasers, let's talk about what's not disrespect. Respecting your boundaries, that's not disrespectful. Not letting people walk all over you, that's not disrespectful. Having a backbone and standing up to people, that's not disrespectful. Valuing yourself, your worth, your time, your energy, that's not disrespectful. Limiting access to people that no longer deserve you, that's not disrespectful. I say all of this because when I decided to start establishing boundaries in a lot of my unhealthy relationships in the past, whether that was at work, family, friends, school, or romantic partners, I was labeled as mean, and I was told, oh, you're not the same, you've changed, you're acting brand new, you're acting different. Yeah, I am, because why do I want to let you disrespect me? That's stupid. And this is why I believe in telling people how you feel. Of course, exercise situational awareness. And if you have to put it on your to-do list for later, Make sure you actually handle it later, because people will do to you what you allow them to. A lot of times we brush stuff off and we push things to the side thinking that if we just let it slide, they won't do it again. Sometimes you think if you just tell someone nicely or politely, they won't do it again. No, with some people, you just have to be very direct, and if they try to cross that line again, you just gotta cut them off. Per my last email is not disrespectful, because if you were smart enough to read, you would know that I said this 30 minutes ago. That's not hostile. That's not you overreacting. That's you showing people that they should pay attention, because how many times have you said this? People think that we're supposed to constantly repeat ourselves. If you don't feel like it, you don't have to. Telling somebody, don't talk to me that way, that's not being disrespectful. Telling someone that they need to be held accountable for their actions, that's not disrespectful. Returning the same energy that somebody gave to you first, that's not disrespectful. And a lot of people will convince you that you're being disrespectful because they're not used to you standing up for yourself. Your body even plays tricks on you sometimes, because I know for me, when I first started establishing boundaries, I would get cold sweats, I would have heart palpitations, I would literally internally be freaking out, because any time that I tried to establish a boundary with a toxic person that showed me that they were toxic, they always had a very negative reaction. And still,
Boundaries. How many of us got them? And why are boundaries received as disrespect? And can we really set them for our own livelihood? Boundaries is something that your girl has been struggling. Well, I don't struggle with it. I used to struggle with it. Like when I first started my healing journey and started therapy, my therapist was like, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. Like, you're dealing with this because you have a lack of boundaries. And now, like 2023, like before my wedding, it was all about boundaries. And I'm trying to tell you, I lost a few people, family, friends, whoever. And a lot of people like, I don't like this new Kenya. But I had to set them. So how are y'all boundaries? I know it's a sticky situation. Danny. Well, I think Alex, I think you wanted to go. Are you good with boundaries?
Oh, well, I ain't want to go, but I can go. I am really bad at boundaries. It's crazy because I feel like I used to be really good at setting boundaries. Like, and I was told often like I had a bad attitude, or like I was that I was mean, or like I didn't know how to talk to people, and it damaged like a lot. Well, maybe it didn't damage friendships. I don't really know, but I did lose friends. But now I am struggling with people pleasing. I'm in the process of trying to get out of it, but I do like, it's kind of hard, like when you stuck between like, okay, I want to be kind and considerate because that's part of my growth journey, but I also do want to like set boundaries as well. So like, I'm kind of like in a sticky middle where it's like, okay, I want to be nice to people and I want to treat people how I would want to be treated. I want to be considerate, and I don't want to overreact, and I don't want to overthink things. But then it's like, I do want to set my boundaries. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't think I'm good at setting boundaries right now. And I think I'm like in this weird people pleasing phase. And it hasn't really been like good for me, because I don't think I've been like I don't tell people how I always feel about things. Or I kind of just be like, it's okay. Like, it's all right. It's not that deep. And sometimes it do be that
It is
deep.
that deep.
You know what I'm saying? It do be that deep, and at the time, like, it don't be that deep. And then 3 days later, I'm still thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, maybe it wasn't deep, and maybe I should have said something. Then I'm like, it's too late now. I don't want that person to think that like I'm being nitpicky. I don't know. It's weird. Relationships are hard, whether it's like with family, friends, like they're really hard to navigate. And I feel like that's why I'm struggling with making new friends, because it's like, I don't know. It's just a hard situation.
I just want to let you know, people know what they be doing. And I think that's something that we forget to recognize, that people know what they be doing. And we be feeling some type of way like, well, I want to be nice. Maybe they didn't mean it. It's like they did. They are willing participants. They are adults. They know what they're doing. And yes, we do have to give people grace. But then we also got to look out for ourselves and know that this person's behavior is affecting me and it is not fair to me. So why am I considering this person when they didn't consider me?
That is a good way to think about it. But I still be feeling like, I don't know. I be trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, because I know I'm not always like the easiest neither. So I be wanting people to also give me the benefit of the doubt. Like sometimes when I say things, it ain't always like, sometimes it can be too blunt, and I know it could be hurting, but I be hoping like, I hope this person knows my heart. and things like that. Or when I do things, like I'm a very really bad texter. Like I hope this person know, like I'm not ignoring them. This like I hope they know my heart. So I be trying to give people the grace that I be wanting, but you're right. People do be knowing what they be doing. I know what I be doing sometimes. So
You
yeah,
can't expect a you from you. Like that's was my problem. I used to be like, well, I know if I do this to the, they're gonna automatically return the energy, the behavior. They're gonna do me right because I did them right, and that's the absolute false. It's 100% false. You can't expect a you from you, and sometimes we just gotta hold people accountable and set a boundary when it needs to be set. And sometimes boundaries don't feel good, but they necessary.
yeah. So I guess I'm just trying to like be honest with myself. Like, okay, Lex, right now you are in this people pleasing weird situation right now. So we need to work on that because I feel like people don't want to admit. Like, I feel like more people be doing it than they be wanting to admit. Like people be feeling away about stuff or be thinking stuff and won't say nothing, but whole time be feeling away and then start acting weird. So yeah.
Yeah. People are weird. Quisha, what do you think about boundaries? And why do you think people perceive them as disrespect?
I think boundaries are necessary, and I'm horrible with them. I have a soft spot for the ones that are close to me, or my close circle of family members, and they overstep them all the time. And I'm the type where I'll brush it off, I'll let it go, but it's a build up, and then when I've had enough, or it's like the straw that broke the camel back, then I explode, and it's unhealthy. Right. Instead of letting stuff build up, because that's what I do. I'll just, all right, I'm gonna give you a pass. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm good with like if someone says something or crosses a boundary, I'll play the ignore game, because it's like I know if I say something, it's gonna come out in a way that I don't know if this relationship is gonna be fixable. So I try to just put it on a back burner, but it eventually ends up coming out the way that I don't want it to come out, in an unhealthy way. And I'm always worried about how I say stuff or how I'm going to make others feel. And I never take into consideration how others are making me feel, or what I'm dealing with, or whatever. So I'm horrible with them. And, you know, I think I don't like confrontation or whatever. Not saying that I've been in a lot of confrontations, but I think I don't like for it to get to that point. And it's kind of like, I know if I say this person is going to react this way, and then I'm going to turn up, type of thing. So I try to avoid it. So I don't know. I need help. Boundaries are necessary, but I'm horrible with them until I can't take no more.
See, that's problematic though, because then once somebody take it to that point, it'd be like the point of no return.
I know. And then I look like the crazy one.
Yeah, not it's something they did to you, and you went all off the walls, and now you the bad guy.
I know. Like, I don't know. I really don't. I know people probably think I like confrontation, but I really don't. Like, I don't. And maybe it's about, I need to learn how to say stuff or whatever. Because you could say something and you could be like, even though the person don't agree, but you can still be respectful, like respectfully. We don't have to, this don't have to blow up. I'm just letting you know. And honestly, I do have, like, for instance, certain friends that I have that relationship with, that, I can tell somebody how I'm feeling. And then you have certain friends or family members where, if you say something, they're going to get you out your character, and I be trying to avoid it or whatever. And it's just like, you brushing it under the rug, and then that other side of me come out, and it's like, damn. So yeah.
Yeah, that used to be me. Cause I mean, everybody, I didn't change it a lot. Like back in the day, it used to be say what, but now I just cut them off. It's like I tell you what it is. Like, I don't appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how you did that, and I don't think it's not acceptable for me. And like that's it. And then the next time you do it, the scissors come out.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Or
I'm
me,
not gonna do that.
I'll fall back, and that's not healthy either because the person don't know, why you falling back, or why you, going into a shell, or moving a different way to them. I feel like the proper way, let them know what it is. I'm feeling this type of way, and talk it out instead of, because it's making me look like I'm the crazy one or whatever, and it's just I'm really feeling some type of way, but I don't know how to have this conversation with you because I don't want it to go left, kind of thing.
It's
And I feel
crazy.
oh my
Go
bad.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Alex.
To your point, it's like I feel like that more so with like newer friendship, like newer relationships, like older relationships, like you can kind of tell that person like how you feel. It'd be a little bit more comfortable, but like newer relationships with like other women, especially, it'd be like you don't be wanting to say nothing because you want to like salvage the relationship. You don't want it to get weird quick. And it'd be like either I'm gonna say something or I'm gonna just fall back. And like you said, I think that that's even worse than just saying something, just not saying, just be like, you know what, I don't think this person's for me, and just cutting them off. Cause I mean that's what I do. If I feel like the vibe weird, I'm just gonna stop talking to you. And I know that's really like it's not nice. It's not
So
kind.
you be ghosting people. They be like, Alex, like what happened? You be just gone. You be like,
That part, because if it's weird energy, I don't know, and maybe I should just speak up and just say like I feel like this was kind of weird. I ain't like I ain't really fuck with this, but I don't know. And that's why I say I feel like it's mostly with like newer relationships that don't got like history to them.
Well, what's crazy is I don't remember last time I made a new friend. I don't know. People think I got a resting bitch face. I don't know. I don't make friends easily, but I got a lot of it'd be the old ones that try you. And it's not just friends, even in family, parents, siblings, cousins, uncles, whoever or whatever. But I think the new I don't really have no new friends. I'm gonna say the newer associates, they don't, I feel like they don't try you for real. It's because it's surface, it ain't deep.
yeah.
It be them deep relationships that'll try you. The surface relationships, it's like it ain't whatever, what we arguing about anyway. Like we don't know each other like that. It be the ones that got the deep history that'll try you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I feel like my friends, they know old Lex. Just don't bring it
Yeah.
out. That's why I don't be having them problems. Then my family,
Yeah.
the few family members I do talk to, I don't feel like I don't be that type of energy. But maybe it's because I didn't cut off all the ones that I just don't fuck with. I don't like.
You took a play out my book because, girl, I don't talk to nobody. It'd be like, oh, you with that bullshit, bye. Uh-uh. They'd be like, dang, why can't you not talking to us? Don't play that. You know what's going on. You know what the fuck is going on. Don't do that. And then it'd be like, okay, well, bye. And I be 100% okay. Everybody be thinking that Kenya be over here like mad as hell, like, oh my God, I hate these people. And it's no hate. It's just that I had a boundary and I had a certain standard that you needed to stand on. You didn't want to stand on it and you either crossed that boundary. So now you out the game. And now we
Well,
looking at each
would you
other.
ever double back and revisit those relationships?
Absolutely not.
If it could be salvaged?
Absolutely not. I feel like once you pick your spot and you played your hand and you were adult enough, you had the awareness that you know what you did. What is that a rekindle? What is that a resalvage? It's resalvage. It's nothing because you made a choice and I did too. And at this point in 2020, especially we going to 2024, I'm not tolerating disrespect. Like we too old to constantly get people passes and be like, well, they didn't know no better. They did. Or they didn't mean no harm, but they caused harm and they not really worried about it. They're not affected by it. So why are we the ones that have to say, okay, it's okay. You could come back around. Why so you could do it again? That's mental illness, in my opinion.
Well, no, that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a
Right.
different result.
I can't do it. Like, and it's we getting at a point. I feel like we all aware of what we do, and people gonna tell you what they want you to do and what they can't do. Like, people know who to pull it with, and they know who not to pull it with. They know in certain situations, like I should do this, and they know like the right thing to do. Now, if you just say fuck the right thing to do, why should I care about your feelings of me cutting you off? That's weird to me. That's unfair to me.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, maybe I'm just a cold hearted person. But that's just how I look at it. I'm in this. That's the space I'm in, and I be talking to my therapist, and my therapist just like, no. She's like, no, you absolutely right. You're setting boundaries and you standing on them. She like, it's not your fault that you got standards.
Sound
Danny,
like me.
so how you feel about boundaries, Bianca? Are you good with setting them?
Am I? Just kidding. I feel like, within the last couple of years, certain situations just made me stand on business with people. Like, it's
Not the
just,
king. You standing on
it's
business.
literally like, sometimes you just think people won't try you just out of love, out of respect, or whatever you think. But sometimes they pull that card, and you either gonna stand on business or you gonna keep letting them do it. And sometimes you just got to make an example out of folk. That's all. It's again, it's a self-awareness thing, and it's only received as disrespect because they do the learned behavior that they've been doing their whole life, and you don't only want to pull a card, and once you pull a card, now it's a problem. Now you didn't be in this. It ain't even that. It's just you could do all that ruckus over there, but you're not gonna come over here and do it to me. That's a boundary. And then it's just like I don't be understanding why it's so difficult just to respect what people feel and what they say. You set the tone for how people treat you. And if I don't allow such and such to treat me like that, just because you get away with a certain thing, you're not gonna come up here and fuck with me like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like people just used to being who they are, being demons amongst the world, and you're not gonna come fuck my shit up. So yeah, I'm good with boundaries. And I'm literally gonna make you accountable for what the fuck you did. I'm gonna say what it is. I don't care how you try to slither your way around it and be a victim or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna make you stand on it. And I had an instance like that. Ooh, child. It really took me there. Like, for one, it's like a disbelief type of thing. But then once the reality set in for me, it was just like the whole pressure for your family. Like, y'all, we family. We get to love one another. Like, okay, yeah. Like I had to learn how to not let that be a determining factor in how people rotate in my life. Like if I feel disrespected, if you did something or whatever, it is what it is. Either you're gonna stand on business and respect me or what I say or how I feel, or
That
cutthroat.
part.
You
I
gone.
know. I read I think it was either a quote I read or it was a video. Somebody said that we allow family members get away with so much stuff that we would not allow a stranger. Like we allow family
That's
members to do
true.
stuff to us that we wouldn't even allow a stranger to do. And to
That's
me that's
true.
crazy. It's like how
It's
is it
because like, oh, we family. It's not even that. Like once out of the circle, you were a regular person to the average person. So certain things that you're doing to family members or to certain group of people because they may not do or say anything. That's not how life works. It's not how life function. If you either gonna be a real person, a stand-up woman or a man about your shit and own up to the shit that you do, or you just gonna forever be coddled. And I'm not doing that. Ain't nobody came out of me but Brooke. And
I
I'm
mean
not
a
in the
lot
business to coddle no grown person for things that they may be aware that they're doing. And it's especially if it's the same thing over and over and over. Like, I'm
yeah.
tired of that. Like, that's just not my burden to bear. You gonna fuck that shit up over there, but I'm good over here. Like, it's just, you gotta take your emotions out of it. Once you do that,
Yeah. It's
that's just what
definitely
it
one of
do.
the things that we just have to stand firm. So I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it's one of the things that you either get right or you get left. And
Literally, stand on business or go pray about it or something. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Okay, King, standing on
okay,
business.
I know, right? He got me in a chokehold with that.
You playing tally way too much. Denisha, how do you feel about your boundaries? Are they sometimes perceived as disrespect?
Absolutely. So, like most people say, like those boundaries are harder with people that we know, like family, because they're used to doing it. So, I'm in that stage where I cut everybody off too. Like I don't really mess with too many people. Like if that vibe was like weird and we talked about it, mm-mm. Because like even with like those boundaries, like I've always been like the vocal person to tell people how I feel, and it has always came off as being disrespectful. Just like I guess based on my tone. So tone does have a thing in that, but that's the point where like I kind of blow up because it's like the little things. Like it's the principle behind a lot of stuff, and sometimes you feel like you shouldn't have to explain stuff, and you should, like especially with family. Like we all come from similar background or the same. So it's like you should know this. Like it's at some point you just get tired of teaching people like how to do something. And I'm now using that energy to pour into my daughter, but also myself so that I can continue to set them boundaries and attract other people that are like that. I don't have a huge circle and I just pray God give it to me because like it do truly like take a village to also like keep those boundaries and stuff like in set because you would like lose yourself in it, but it's definitely essential.
Yeah. That it is. You definitely need people around you that's gonna be like, you better not double back. Like that person knew what they did. They made their bed. Let them lay on it. Like don't double back. Like Cause I mean it gets lonely sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. It's been times where I'd have cut so many people off. I'm just like, damn. I wouldn't mind talking to this person, but then I'd be like, man, fuck them. It's like a switch with me where it's like, nope. But
But
I know
also, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said sometimes everybody don't have that click where they need somebody like no.
But like also too, like in my experiences of the older people, I feel like they always throw God in it. And for me, I be feeling like realistically, God ain't got shit to do with this. Like, no disrespect to him or anything like that. It's just holding people accountable. Like, we can't keep doing this, especially like when you grown, like you've been grown for a minute. You know, like what you should and should not be doing. And sometimes families got that bad. Oh, just pray about it. Like, no, I'm gonna pray for myself and the things that I got going on. What he got going on or what she got going on isn't my burden to bear. And I be hating when they be pray about it, ask God about it. Like, no, how about you tell them that shit was foul? Don't like hold them accountable. It's just like that's the biggest thing that be lacking in Black communities for real.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah, and it's something we can love people from a distance. Like, don't get me wrong. Like you said, don't pray for them. I'm still pray for them. I pray for them every day. I love them from a distance. It's
Not
just
even
that
like not pray for them. Like, no, I'm not saying that, but it's just like, why is that the first thing like you want to do? Like, oh, it'll get better. We just gotta keep praying. Pray harder. Like, how about no?
no,
Like,
that's because we get so used to okay and bad behavior. I feel like that's the reoccurring thing with culture, Black community is that we okay bad behavior. And it don't matter if it's your mama, it could be your daddy, it could be your cousin, it could be your grandmama. And we know certain things, and it'd be like, now you know that was foul. But then it's that, well, that's this person. So they get a pass. And it's like, no,
and
there are
that's
no
what I'm not
passes.
standing on no more. Like, oh,
Mm-mm.
I don't give a fuck about none of that. You something
Nobody
wrong
gets
with
a
you?
pass.
Go see a chaplain or something wrong with you, go to therapy. I don't know, but take some accountability for yourself because you be fucking up people vibes and moods and people ain't done nothing to you. It's
Do y'all
just
think that the older generation know accountability? Like, do you think they know what it is?
Hell
yes and no.
no. They
No.
like to live in do I can't even say it, Lulu land. They like to live in this make believe world that ain't nothing wrong and everything's supposed to get excused. Older that generation does not know
Or
accountability
it's
at all.
just swept under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not even that they don't even know. It's just it's not practice. Like you want to turn the blind eye to certain shit, and then when things get bad and blow up, oh, let's get on our knees. Like, you're not
That goes
doing
to
that.
that saying, you try to keep the peace, but it creates chaos inside. Like
Okay.
that
Yeah.
festers out. Like holding it in for so long, like y'all said, you'll blow up. It festers. So that's, if you can remember, like the older people having yelling matches because they kept stuff in. It's like, dang, all she said was, this. Like, where is this coming from? Why are you reacting that way? And it's because of repressing that stuff in, holding that in, and it festers and then it explodes.
Then they also, like, I've noticed too, like the person that was actually the victim becomes the villain. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I don't be understanding that. Like somebody did something and now you come in rushing to the aid because something wrong with them. Like, hello. Like, it's just, I don't know what the fuck be wrong with the old people. But I'm not with that. It's like, honestly, like trying to get closer to God and being literally seriously like on a different spiritual level and having growth. There are certain things in my life currently that I don't and cannot deal with. Like, y'all want to do that 1900, Memphis, Tennessee type stuff going on over there, like do that, but I'm working over here for the greater good of me and my child. And some of that toxic stuff y'all got going on, I don't want no parts of it. It's like now, as a parent, as a mother, seeing these things and the lack of disrespect and boundaries and all of that, like I got to shield my child from certain things because I just feel like there's certain things that kids shouldn't see, witness, hear about. Like they shouldn't be exposed to things. So it's like, as a parent now, it's like my job to get my shit together, get closer to God, do what it is that I want to do for me, and keep her away from all that and actually teach her right from wrong. If you do something, hold yourself accountable, apologize, things like that. If don't nobody want to be your friend because you made a mistake, that's okay. That's like stuff like that. Like, I'm trying my best to do that because I see it every day. And when you really think about it, it's really depressing. And that be the reason why people in the families, they fall apart, because we enable dumbass shit.
Yeah, we okay to bad behavior, and it's doing nothing but just continuing the cycle of toxicity within our families. Because we would know something is wrong, and the whole family would know something is wrong, but they'd just be like, "Oh, well, that's just so and so," and it's like, that's just so and so is not okay. Like, we need to do something about so and so, so it won't just be that so and so. Like, that's problematic, because how we gonna move forward and how they gonna change within themselves? They constantly doing the same shit, and we like, well, that's just them. No. Danny, how do you feel about your boundaries? Do people think that you're disrespectful if you set them?
She got it good, y'all. I'm
Really?
sorry. They be thinking Danielle crazy. She got it so
No,
good.
I stand firm on my boundaries. And just to give a backstory as to why I do, um, it's kind of sad, but it literally shaped me to be able to have boundaries. So, be it that my father divorced my mom when I was 11, and him having that on and off whenever he feels like it relationship, and realizing, sitting back, analyzing, like, I accepted that in damn near every relationship, whether it be friendship or, romantic. And it was like, okay, I got to stop this. So, what really triggered it was the fact that my father decided to be a part of my son's life at a certain point in time, and then he stopped. So, I'm like, that's not going to continue with him. So he would pick him up from school until I got off work, and then, exchange him to me. Then he was like, I can't do it no more. So now my son, like, okay, where's grandpa? Why grandpa not picking me up? And that just hit a switch. So I always got called nonchalant, but it was a reason behind it. You know what I mean? Like, once you take the emotion out of it, it's like, okay, you have to start thinking, this is not right. I want it to stop, so I'm going to stop it. So even with my own mother, we live in the same building. She might come knock on my door. I don't want to be bothered. It's not the right time. I won't answer it. Because one, why are you knocking on my door instead of saying, hey, or hey, you busy? Can I swing by? Like, I understand that's my mother, but I'm not a child. So even if I keep my phone on do not disturb for a month or two at a time, like, don't bombard me with phone calls back to back to back. Don't bombard me with text messages. You have to understand that I have to set that boundary where I can't be easily accessed. Like, my access is, I'm not going to say a privilege, but it is a privilege. Because once you become
Definitely a privilege.
once you become so available to people, it's like that's what they expect. And then when something go wrong and you fall off the deep end or whatever, and you got to rebuild yourself up, it's like, I'm not trying to bring you down the rabbit hole with me. Respect the fact that I'm thinking of you and your emotions and everything. You know what I mean? Like I said, even though take the emotions out, but still I'm thinking consideration. So boundaries does come with a lot of second guessing. It does. It also comes with a lot of breakups and shifts. Sometimes it's not breakups, but sometimes they are, because some people don't like boundaries. And it's like also a learning lesson too. Like, maybe you should start creating boundaries and you would understand why they need to be implemented and stood on. So that's where I'm at with them. I stand firm on mine.
It's crazy because I think one thing you said about it, I feel like when you really get serious about boundaries, it seems as if something has to trigger it. Like it has to be some type of experience that when you be like, this, I felt this way and I'm not gonna feel this way no more. Like this is enough. And that's when you be like, no, I'm not playing about my boundaries. Like that boundary, I ain't playing with that one. And it just get easier as you start just growing and you starting to be more healthy and more self-aware. And you be like, you know what? When I come around this person, I always feel this way. I need a boundary right there because I don't like how I feel. Or if I go over here, I know I get this energy. So now I have to have a boundary there because
And it
I
goes
don't like that feeling.
self in tune too. You have to be in tune with yourself. Like, we do the whole family situation. Yes, I understand that's family, but when I get around certain individuals, it's like, all right, something not right. You know,
Boundary.
yeah, exactly. So they need to be implemented. They do. Like, honestly, it's the best thing you can do for yourself besides, other things. But that's one of the top 5 things you can do for yourself is set boundaries and stand on them. It's going to sting a little bit because I like to call myself kind more so than nice, because niceness gets you ran over. Kindness is who you are, not what you do. So,
Preach.
yes, I always label myself kind, but I will not say I am nice.
Yeah. I never thought of that way. That's definitely was
But
dope.
really, you're not supposed to be, though. Like, when you really think about life and think that, if I'm nice all the time, all people do, it's like transactional. All they do is take, 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 and then you have nothing pouring back into your cup. So if your cup is flowing over and you're just pouring into everybody else, when you run dry, them people gone.
Yep.
That's just, unfortunately, that's just how it is. So you're right. When you do implement those boundaries, it's odd at first. It's very weird.
It's
People look at you.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, people look at you different. They'll stop talking when you come in the room. I'm telling you, I've experienced this for like 4 years straight. But like, it's
It'll be stories
uncomfortable.
about you.
Yeah, I didn't heard 1,000 different versions of one incident, just because people didn't like that I set a boundary and I was standing firm on it, and I didn't care about how you felt or your cries or any games that you was trying to plot to make me. You can't pull on my heartstrings because I had it. So she's right. Like, I'm not kind. I'm not gonna even lie. I'm only kind to people that I give a fuck about, like wholeheartedly. Like, I really genuinely love you and care for you. Then you have that access to me. But to everybody else, I'm going to be like, I'm not even going to open myself up. I don't want to feel your vibrations. Like, I don't want it because I don't want you to take from me. You know, that's it's just at this point, that's what people do. They take and they don't want to give. And then once you make them aware that, hey, you did this, they're just like, get the fuck over it. And they're gone. And it hurts. So to protect yourself, you know, you do, however you stand on your business, you do that.
That part. Tiffany, do you have boundaries?
I feel like I need to start setting boundaries when it comes to like niggas, especially like man from the past. That's what I in liquor. Cause like I don't be like on no lonely shit. It just be I be bored, and if I to get a babysitter, I get drunk or whatever, and I call the motherfucker up. But it's just like I think about it the next day, like, bitch, why did you do that? You know
Mess
he
up
ain't
your
no
whole
shit.
energy.
Right, you know, he taking your energy, you pouring your energy into him, and he ain't giving you shit. So like, you know, he ain't shit. He ain't gonna never be shit. So why would you piggyback on him and call him because you was drunk and you was bored? So
That's
that's why I
because you're
need to
starting
say,
to be self-aware though. So give
yeah,
yourself grace in that you're starting to wake up and realize, like, I shouldn't have done that. And then you hold your own self accountable and stand firm on that though.
Yep, and create that boundary.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Cause it's like usually I'm the type where I go off my emotions. If you make me feel some type of way, I'll cut your ass off. I won't tell you what you did wrong to me. You just won't hear from me for a long time. And that's just how I am. But like when it comes down like to men, I really need to be. I am become to be aware of what the fuck happened, and it's just like I don't need that. So like that's why I had told myself I'm like, okay, maybe you should like take. I really want to take damn near a whole year off drinking because when I get in my feelings, I get drunk. Like if I'm happy, I get drunk. If I'm sad, if I'm mad, you know, if I'm crying, I get drunk. So it's just like I need to set that boundary with liquor and men from my past.
You should do it. 2024, no liquor. Challenge
Yeah, that's what
yourself.
I want to do because it just shit.
I'm
I'm
not
trying
gonna
to
hop
give
on
me a
that
new
train with you,
hobby.
but I pray for you. I'll do your drinking for you because I got 3 kids around here, so I ain't gonna make that commitment, but you should. And I hold you accountable. I'll be like, I know you ain't over there doing what you're supposed to be doing. You better be standing
Yeah.
on business.
And
And
then
we
that,
lock
yeah,
it
and I can really stand on business with the drinking because I ain't got no money. Shit. So it's like, all right, bitch, you broke. You ain't got no liquor. You sober. You got a clear mind.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe if you do stop drinking, you might be in a different headspace where you might end up just starting to set those boundaries, and you might finally try to get in your bag, get on your zone.
Yeah.
I got something. We talking about boundaries. Look, I want to see what y'all feel about this.
Just because someone's your family doesn't mean you gotta put up with their shit. I don't care if they're your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, or anyone else. You do not need to deal with their bullshit just because they share blood or the same last name. They are not there to drag you down. They are not there to put you down. They are not there to discredit your success, and they definitely aren't there to talk you out of achieving your goals. Focus on your purpose and what you want out of life. Just because
That begs the question: is it okay to cut family off? And are you capable of choosing you?
Hell yeah. I just cut my sister off on my daddy side. So sad, too bad. You getting cut off. You ain't no auntie no more, no sister. You can get the fuck on.
Okay. Y'all know I'm the queen of cut off. I'm the queen. I got the scissors everywhere I go. You got one chance. No, I ain't gonna say one chance. You got two. The first time is okay, you get a pass. The second time, all right, bye. You was over there snapping. I'm guessing you cut family off without a
I
problem.
don't care to do it. I won't think about it twice. If I feel like now at this point, if you're problematic or more a threat to yourself than anybody else, you got to go. Like I can't. I don't have it in me to deal with my shit, my child, my life. What the hell going on over here? And then baby you. So yeah, I ain't got no problem doing that. If you're causing more harm than anything, bye.
You be
Danielle
your
and
mama.
Quish. Oh hell yeah. I don't got
Really?
a problem with it. We grown. Take the emotion out of it though.
Your
Really
grandma.
take yeah, I would.
Damn, what Granny do?
It's I mean, I'm just saying hypothetically, if it gets
Yeah.
there,
Okay.
I won't have no problem doing it just because like I'm tired. Danielle and Quisha would tell you like they be begging me to be nice and kind sometimes. Like sometimes I just can't. And it don't be me being mean. It's just me being like, I emotionally can't just keep going through this with people. Y'all
That
need to
takes
figure
strength
that
though.
out and
That's strength.
grow up. Like people be having their own things going on and then people just be coming in like tornado and just disruptive. I ain't got time. It's just it's too much. So yes, I can cut family members off.
Quisha, I
Yep.
know you said we had boundaries. You know, it's kind of hard for you to do boundaries. Do you think it's okay to cut family off? Are you capable of doing it?
Well, Danielle and Bianca, and I couldn't even say Ken, y'all like the ice queens. Me, I I think if I'm being honest with myself, I don't think I'm capable of doing it. And I'm
Why
not saying
not?
it's a good thing. I'm just being honest with myself. I didn't got into some shit with family members. Like shoot, even blows. And it's something like if this was a friend or someone off the street, I can be even more cutthroat than Danielle and Bianca. But it's something about them damn family members. I don't know what it is or whatever that now I might be mad, we might go to war or whatever. We may be into it for a minute, but they always spin the block. I always spin the block. And I don't know. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just being honest with myself. I've tried and I've always spent the block with family members. I don't know.
Even at your own expense?
I have, and that's something that Malia, can you go in your playroom? She underneath my feet, underneath the desk. So honestly, that's something that me and Marlon, my husband, like fight about or debate about or argue about. He feels like I make myself too accessible to everybody. You know, like, you know, I'll do a back bend, I'll bend over backwards for a family member or someone, you know what I'm saying, that I truly love. And I truly love all my family members, you know, whether we talk every day or not. I don't know. It's something that's just embedded in my head, and it's not saying it's a good thing, but that's something that we debate about all the time. Like people taking advantage or overstepping boundaries or not respecting my space or my time or you know what I do for them or because when I do stuff, it's not to get acknowledgement or anything like that. That's just me or whatever. If I always give everybody 100%, and he be like, well, if you give everybody 100%, what you giving me? How am I special? What are you pouring into me? Or what are you pouring into, you know, every time that you pour into someone else, you pouring something out of our household or our family or this and that. Do you think about that? I don't know. I'm just being honest with myself. I don't know why. Even my father, out of every family member I've ever had, I've had the worst blowout with him, and I still spent the block with that nigga. I don't know why. I have no idea. I'm just gonna be completely transparent right here. Like, my father stood me up at my own wedding. Like, Kenya's father had to walk me down the aisle. And for whatever reason, but I think like now it's just I know where to hold him. Like with him, I'll answer the phone when I feel like it. It may be months or, you know, I'll respond when I feel like it. Like I have no expectations of him or, you know, I don't hold him to a certain standard. I deal with him the way I deal with him or whatever. I kind of keep him at arm's distance, but I still love him from a distance or whatever. But I'll entertain him from time to time or whatever. But that was one family member, in my opinion, that I should have definitely cut off. And that, forget all the petty cousin arguments and fights and this and that. That shit hurt it deep, worse than anything I've ever been through with a family member. And I still found the way to spin the block. So I don't know.
I know you said something about Marlon, how he be like, nah, you don't really deserve it. That's how Romeo used to be with before like shit really hit the fan, like with family and friends. I used to be the one that used to always be like, nah, that's just them. They didn't mean no harm. It was this, that, and the third. And he's be like, nah, that ain't right. Like that person, that's not right. Like you shouldn't have to do that for that person. You should not do it. Like, and you shouldn't be in that situation. And I used to always be like, nah, you just don't know them. Like you'll get used to it. But it took like therapy and really speaking with my therapist and kind of going through certain situations and her kind of explaining to me like, these people are not making you a priority. So you got to make yourself a priority and you got to hold, you got to have some type of standard of how you want people to treat you and how you want them to act. And yeah, people will be left and it's going to hurt, but it's going to be okay if you really want people to act and act a certain way. So you don't have to revisit certain situations. So, I mean, eventually I feel like it might get better eventually, but I definitely been there. And Romeo used to be like, that's wrong. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why don't you see it that way? And I just be like, well, you don't know nothing.
Yeah,
but
we still there.
it'll get better eventually.
Yeah.
I know.
Danielle, I think that they called you the Ice Queen. I'm sure it's okay with you to cut family off.
It is. And to piggyback on Quisha, it does stem from my father leaving because it's like, all right, well, if he can leave, anybody else can leave. So I think for me, I leave before I can end up getting hurt. So
it's like a defense mechanism.
It really is a defense mechanism. So sometimes I might try to see if it's salvageable. I always do a pros and cons. And if the pros outweigh the cons, then I'll salvage it. But if it's vice versa, I wash my hands of it. I have cut off my father on and off still. But I have placed that boundary where I don't have to answer every time he calls. I'm not that little 12-year-old girl that is confused as to why her father left her. You know what I mean? Like, I recognized what it was, and it kind of flowed, up until now. So, sometimes I do try to give it the benefit of the doubt, but once I come to my senses, it's like, all right, can't keep doing this. You're only hurting yourself. And I'm not trying to, inflict pain on myself. So if I have to say my goodbyes, not even say my goodbyes, I'll just ghost. So
you don't tell people why you cutting them off.
Sometimes it don't need to be addressed.
Thank you.
It don't need to be addressed all the time. It depends on the relationship. Like, say for instance, with my mother, we have our on and off situations too. And I'll be like, because of this, I'm stepping back. You know what I mean? And then eventually, after time passes, we'll get back in good graces, even though when we get back in good graces, we don't have the final talk, if that makes sense.
So it's swept under the rug.
Exactly. And so that's a boundary that I have to start implementing, is actually addressing the situation at hand and, you know, get both sides, like give them my side and they give me their side. And if we can't come up with a mutual agreement, it's cool.
Do you think people are capable of having those conversations? Because
It depends on the people.
from my experience, I'm the type that have conversations. I guess to a certain extent, I feel like one conversation is enough. But
Yes.
then at the same time, I feel like I think people think time's supposed to change a situation.
Mm-mm.
It
It's
doesn't
like
though.
it's like if me and you had this conversation, we had this blowout. I don't give a fuck if a month passed, a year passed, 10 years passed. What's going to change?
Yeah.
And I know we should be the people. It's like, oh, you got to give people a chance to change.
But you
But
ain't finna wait around for you to change. Like that's ridiculous. If I'm over here, I'm sorry to make cut you off, but it's like if I'm over here doing self work for myself to be a better person, and I keep making excuses and allowing you to be who you are, that's pointless. That
yeah,
diminishes all of the work that I'm doing for myself. So no,
yeah,
because I feel like my process of cutting people off, like if once I make my decision, I'll call Quisha or Danielle to see if I'm crazy about it first before I put the final step on it. But realistically, for me, when I once I'm done being emotional about it, which is sometimes rare, but once I'm done with the emotional aspect, it boils down to principle. Are
yeah,
you smart enough to understand the principle? I
Yeah.
mean, not even smart enough, but like, do you understand why
Yes.
I'm upset? You know what I
It's a
mean?
level of comprehension. Like
But
it's
do you think people ever understand though? Because I feel like even with you explaining something, you really being 100% transparent, and people understand what they're doing. I feel like people based off the reaction that they know they're gonna get, it's this delusional game that they try to play with you. Like, oh, I didn't mean it that way, or oh, it really didn't happen that way, just because they know the end result. So it's like a
That's
manipulation tool that they
theatrics.
try to play.
that's
That's
Yeah,
just
because
the
people
theatrics of it,
operate
though.
out of ego. Once you take that ego out, you can see a broader, spectrum of the whole situation. Like, okay, I would have to give an example. So, Thanksgiving, we had me and a couple people had a disagreement about something, and I asked something out of clarity, but I got called messy. And I'm like, me thinking, I'm a logical thinker. I think. So I'm like, how did you get messy out of clarity? But because of ego and because it was a specific person that triggered them people to lash out and not actually think of the question at hand, you know what I'm saying? They took it emotionally. And it was like, I had to sit back and was like, okay, not everything has to be addressed at that time and place. But once it is addressed, you address the situation, you address your standpoint and listen to their standpoint. And if y'all can't come up with, okay, I misinterpreted what you said, or you know what I'm saying, like get some type of mutual agreement between it, then you know where to place that person.
yeah. And see me, it ain't no placement. It's either you in or you out. It ain't no. It's not a.
Exactly.
I don't have a hallway.
Basically,
It's like
a placement. You
it's,
either
it's
in or you out.
yeah.
What
It's
See,
too.
if
I used to feel guilty about that, though. Like, I used to feel like maybe, let them linger in the background for a while. And then once I started to do more work on myself and become better, I'm like, it won't happen in this dimension, the next life, another parallel dimension. I'm not doing it. And that's when I realized, like, okay, yeah, based on people thought process, sometimes before they even really, like, before you can even really get to the root of the problem, watch what they say. Before you even done with the conversation, you know where to place them. You
Yeah.
just have to be aware and listen to what they're saying, not what you want to hear. You know what I mean? And sometimes we get that bad one or a loved one.
We can't hear you, Bianca. Quisha, what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say, what if someone really did like F up, right? And they realize, like, you know what, they messed up and take accountability. Like, you know what, I was tripping. You know, I could have did this different. I could have, because I respect that more than somebody trying to insult my intelligence or somebody trying to make excuses or justify or this or that. I can accept because we're human. Like, you know, sometimes I F up or whatever. I can accept somebody taking accountability and being like, you know what, I shouldn't have handled you that way. Or I could have went about this a different way. Or, I was tripping. Like, would that affect the way, your decision as far as whether you cut someone off or not? Or is it no, the action that they did, I'm standing on that principle. It don't matter if you take accountability or not.
For me personally, I think it's a mixture of both. I feel
Mhm.
like for one, if me and you got a relationship, we got to understand that we know certain things that it's just certain things that you don't do with me. Like, you don't handle me that way. So I feel like if me and you got that relationship, we both know we got that understanding. So once you pull it and you try to
Mhm.
handle me that way, it's no coming back from that. But I
Mhm.
also do give people grace, and I will give you the opportunity to hold yourself accountable, and we could come to a consensus. But don't think that the consensus happen once you feel how it feels to get cut off. Because I think that's the problem. It's not about me even cutting you off. It's at the situation. If you know I'm upset and you don't want to handle that situation right then and there, then you made your choice. You can't wait until you feel the aftermath of being cut off. Like, damn, I ain't talked to such so long. I miss them. And now all of a sudden you want to fix something. Because it's not you fixing it based off your behavior. You're fixing it based off of the consequences of your behavior.
That's
And I
true.
just can't respect that.
So
What you
I
say,
had
Tiffany?
some. I had to do my sister like that on my dad's side because she accused me. Well, she said some stupid ass shit. Was like, "Oh, you want to fuck my baby daddy?" And the backstory to that was, her baby daddy had just got out of jail, and she was messing with this guy, and she was asking us like, well, my sister, she ain't number 21, and she was asking me like, oh, what should I do? And I was like, well, let him get out of jail and see what type of dad he is, and then let him get his baby. But if he ain't on shit, then you know what to do. So he basically like got out of jail, was on his shit, and so the dude that she was fucking with was like trying to brainwash her to not let him see his daughter. And I'm just like, is he doing something for your baby? I'm like, you need help. So why not let him be a father to his child? So the baby daddy ended up calling my phone. And so like we was on the phone for like 2 fucking hours. He was crying, saying like he wanted his family back. But I wasn't like telling him my sister business. I'm just like, well, she young, give her some time, whoop the bam. And then so she didn't let him sign the birth certificate. And I was like, why you want to let him sign the birth certificate? Like, that's his child. She like, I don't want to get a DNA test. I'm like, okay, got the DNA test. It's his baby. So now she let him sign the birth certificate. And so she thought that, man, her baby daddy was on the phone talking, because I let her know. I'm like, well, he called me. We was on the phone for 2 hours. So she got mad, told the family like, oh, she want to fuck my baby daddy, and she only talking to my baby daddy because she don't got hers. And I'm just like, bitch, he called me crying to get his family back, and the whole time you with a nigga that ain't doing shit for you or the baby, and you trying to get this man a hard time. Like, you know how many fathers that get out of jail don't give a fuck about their kids? You know how many fathers out here that don't give a fuck about their kids at all? So my daddy wife was trying to get back, start talking. I'm just like, I don't want to fuck with her.
Yep, there go that. Man,
Y'all can hear me?
yeah. You gotta unmute. We can't hear you. Do y'all be bothered if somebody else call your baby's father and talk to them? We can't hear you, Tiffany. Like then yeah, if like Bianca called Blake's dad, would you perceive that as disrespect, like them talking?
I mean, we not together, so I don't care. But she won't have no reason to call him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, him on the other hand has called family members that I didn't feel was necessary. But if you feel like you need to, don't nobody really know me but Quisha and Bianca. So if you feel like you can get some information from somebody else about me, and I don't know why you just can't come to the source. I mean, I know sometimes I'm not the easiest person to talk to, but however, if you come at me correct, we can have a mutual conversation.
So if you was Tiffany's sister, you'll feel some type of way.
If I was Tiffany's sister,
Yeah, in her
no,
situation, you'll feel away.
no.
Wait, I had to go away from Aaliyah for a second. What happened with Tiffany's sister? Recap real quick.
So Tiffany's sister, her baby's daddy ended up calling Tiffany after he out of jail, trying to get his family back. And Tiffany was basically trying to, just talking to him and was trying to encourage the sister, let him be in let him be in the baby life. And the sister took that as Tiffany trying to mess with her baby daddy.
Oh, interesting.
Would you, if you was Tiffany's sister, would you perceive it that way?
Trying to mess with him, like romantically?
Yeah. Like if he called, say for instance, if you was a baby mama and your baby daddy came, like he trying to see his kids and he calling your brother, like please tell her to come let me see the kids crying. Would you think that they trying to mess around, even though?
No, my baby daddy has called family members before.
That's your husband, girl. Got a whole husband over there.
I have talked to Brandon before, Danielle baby daddy, but I have asked permission to, I've
But he
never.
ain't never call you crying, saying I want my family back. Tell her to give me my family back.
He has called crying before, but it was about he has called crying before. And he has called like trying to like plan a whole proposal and things of that nature. And honestly, I was rooting for them. I was rooting for them, but I feel like it's the relationship that you have. Danielle knows, Danielle is like my sister or whatever. Like she knows good and damn well I'm not trying to romantically mess with Brandon or whatever. Like, and every conversation, because we haven't had a lot of conversation, but it has been times where they've been into it, or he wants his family back, or he trying to plan this big proposal, or this or that. Like I've told her about every situation or whatever. And even when I'm talking to him or whatever, even though I'll tell Danielle, like, stop being mean, stop doing this, stop doing that, I'm not talking to him that way, because at the end of the day, I'm always team Danielle. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell her like, "Damn, you've been real ice, you've been cold." But when I'm talking to him, I'm still a united front with Danielle. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always looking out for her best interest. But yeah, he's called crying before, but she knows good damn well I'm not trying to mess with him romantically. But I feel like it depends on that relationship that you have with that family member. Like, I feel like it's some underlying other issues there, if that is how it's perceived. It got to be something else there, or, something that we don't know, or some type of insecurity or something that's there that's triggering those feelings.
Yeah, I mean, because per my last Thanksgiving, I had the situation where I had somebody in my house and they had they man with them, and I'm comfortable in my house going about my merry way, and it was perceived as me wearing certain things, in which is pajamas, like regular shorts that I would wear outside, as me trying to come on to your man, which is crazy to me. Like it's crazy to me. And I feel like that's one of those underlying issues was like you're just looking for anything. Because ain't no way that you could think that I'm married to your brother and you think that I could put on something with the intent of trying to get your man's attention.
Yeah, it's some other underlying
That's
issues.
jealousy.
Jealousy, insecurity.
Jealousy and envy all day. It's just subtle. So it could just literally be how you shaped, how you look, the type of band you got. It could literally be anything, and it was just an opportunity to say something, really.
Yeah. So with Tiffany, we had the conversation about your situation, and everybody think that it's some underlying issues about your sister getting upset with you, talking to her crying baby daddy.
Yeah, and then it's like she the type we just actually found her like 2 years ago, and I guess all her life she grew up in a foster home system. So she don't really know how it feels to like have a real family or that support. And we was supporting her because that's my daddy's daughter. And she'll be on some
See,
shit like she'll call the family on my daddy's side like every month asking for money for the baby.
see,
But the
that's why
whole
you can't let
time,
everybody be your family. Like blood don't make you family. Y'all got to stop
yeah,
recruiting
and I'm thinking,
family.
I'm just like, oh shit, I got a little sister. She stay in the city. What's up? We lit. And I was creating a bond with her. Then it's just like she just started tweaking. Like
Yeah.
and then she know how to braid hair, so I was paying her to do my daughter hair. She'll be on some, I'm not doing hair this day, and she'll just be on some a whole bunch of bullshit and be asking the family for money for her baby when the whole time her baby didn't take care of the baby. So she just full of shit, and I'm glad that I cut off because she think everything is funny. Every time you try to have a conversation with her, she want to laugh it off and act childish. So I'm just like, I don't need that energy in my life. I'm already dealing with internal issues of my own. So it's like, why would I bring your ass around and you fuck up what I got going on, and I just pass the fuck out on you? And I'm not trying to be on that type of time. But I feel like my daddy, he on some bullshit too because I'm like, you sit up there having all these fucking kids, everybody grown, they reaching out, and I'm the oldest, and I'm trying to be like, okay, I'll let y'all in y'all family, but I'm like, you got some fucked up ass kids out here in this world, and you need to deal with them. So he don't want to
Stop
bring us
recruiting
together.
sisters, Tiffany. Leave them people alone. Them ain't
Yeah,
leave them people alone. Them my half sisters. Like leave them alone, especially if they growing up in foster care. You don't need them family. You don't need.
yeah, that's
Trust
what
me.
my mama said. So me and her, we ain't talked in months. So I'm like, she can stay over here, and I'm gonna stay my ass over here.
Yeah, I'm all for cutting family off. I think I'm gonna make me a shirt. I'm definitely gonna.
Send me one when you make one.
I'm
I
definitely
swear.
gonna. Denisha, do you think it's okay to cut family off?
I do because I have, but it was hard at first. So I kind of like I feed certain people with a long handle spoon. So it's some people that's completely off, and some people is like situational where like if they call, I gotta feel like it. Like I like truly have to feel like okay, I'm in a good space right now because it's still like some healing stuff that I gotta do. Because like even with like having conversations with people, telling them like what they did wrong, people just not go be accountable. So like certain people, it's still like guilt there, but I know that eventually it's gonna be a part where it's completely cut off. So some people I have cut off, and some people it's still like in the process of like giving them grace. I'm looking at their situations, but honestly, all that shit don't matter because they don't give a damn about what I have went through and where I'm trying to get. And someone said like, I can't take those people like with me, like on the path that I'm going. Like that shit is not matching up to what I need to do. So I'm like standing on that. Like them boundaries, I definitely have to have, and that cutoff is very personal.
They better take it personal.
It's all there. Like I meant it. Like I don't know what you going, how you gonna dress it up, make you feel. I don't care. You made your bed, lay in it. Simple.
Yeah.
I wish more people was like that because then when somebody do it, it won't be like a shock. If we all just start moving accordingly and accept, like making a standard and making people abide to those standards, then we wouldn't be having this problem. Well, when one person make a boundary, everybody looking at, she just such a bitch. Like she's just so mean. Like she don't care.
It's part of it because like once they do whatever they do, they like to wait until time pass and think that because time has passed, we good. It's a clean slate. It didn't be like, no bitch, really, you're done. Like you done fucked up too bad, Ron. Like you finished. It's over with. Go sit in the corner, go pray about whatever you gotta do. And it's like I had a situation where 4 years ago it was a disaster when I was pregnant with Brooklyn. And it became this thing where I didn't speak to these individuals for 4 years. And then it comes around that a certain individual wanted Quisha to facilitate us speaking. And I just felt like you feel punished or shocked that I stood on business for 4 years when it came to you. And now you want to see where you fit in, but it doesn't change my mind at all. So even if you get me to say, hi, bye, it doesn't really change anything for me
I
because
gotta
now I
circle
see
back.
you.
I gotta circle back to Quisha question. So when we cut people out, does that mean that we forgiving them? Is
Yeah,
forgiveness.
forgiveness is for you, not for them. That's the thing that people fuck up. Oh, I gotta forgive them. We family. That's an obligation. No,
I feel
I'm
like
forg
we should forgive people, but never break bread with the enemy.
that
So it's
too.
like they could be our enemy too. Shit.
Look, I'm always the peacemaker.
But also too, just because you forgive somebody doesn't necessarily mean it has to be rekindled. Like forgiveness is for self because when you harbor that stuff, you know what I'm saying? It eats you up in the inside, and it also creates this dynamic between you and that person where there's a not necessarily a resent, but I guess a resent towards that person. And it also goes to how many times has this person done something where I did forgive them, but yet here we go back at square one where something else happens and I forgive them. It's like at a point in time, fuck forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? Like even though you do forgive them, but it doesn't have to be, the relationship don't have to be salvaged. It
I've
don't.
done that with a friend before where it got so bad, it was like war, it was up or whatever. And it just, I don't like people living rent free in my head. And it takes a lot of energy to be mad at someone or to want to get your lick back or to get this revenge in your head or the thought of someone makes you cringe. Like it takes a lot of energy out of you or whatever. And then I got to a point because this person kept reaching out and I kept being mean, I'm done, this and that. So I got to a point where I sent the text completely explaining my feelings, completely saying, I forgive you, but I'm never going to forget. We are never coming back from this. It is what it is. I wish you well. And after that, I swear to God, like it was all released. Like, I never went back to that friendship. I never doubled back. If I, just end up running into that person, hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. It was just that. Like we went from being this to that, but it was just like a weight that was lifted off of my shoulders and my chest because it's like you don't have no control over my emotions no more. Like, when I'm done and I feel good about it. I told you how I felt or whatever, I ain't gonna say it ain't no hard feeling. It was hard feelings, but I'm letting it all go. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, the thought of you or the thought of your name don't make me cringe anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have no control over here no more. So you right, you can forgive someone, but that don't mean that you have to establish that same relationship because we had no relationship after that.
You just made me think of my friend or my ex friend. I was friends with her my whole life, and she did something to me that fucked me up for a minute. Like my livelihood for a minute. Fucked it up. And I didn't. It was like we didn't speak for months after the incident, and the way she moved about it was like you could tell she was guilty, and then like tried to use my birthday as leverage. Like, hey, did I do something to you? Like, why aren't you talking to me? And it's like, okay, bitch, you know what you did, but whatever. I never addressed it, but to other people, she tried to beat me to the punch with the whole, well, I wish you well. I don't know what I could have done to you, and I'm like, like I was so hurt over it because I really loved her and I don't do that often, like I really loved her as a friend. She was more than a friend to me. And when she did that, it broke me on so many levels. I was so depressed and I was still in disbelief. Then I became angry. And then when other people was reaching out to me like, why you just stop randomly talking to her? Like, what did she do? And it's just like, I didn't even feed into it because it's me knowing that you only telling what makes you look good, not what you really did. And it was toxic for me. So, the cutoff was just smooth after I was done being heartbroken with it. For real, though. But yeah.
I think that's the hard part.
What did she do?
She just did something that really messed with my livelihood and how I take care of my child. So, it was cutthroat for her. It was over with.
Yeah.
I think that's the hard part though. I think it's okay when like strangers do you wrong. You could kind of take it to the chin. Or even some family members, some people could do certain stuff and you be like, okay, whatever. But it's the relationships that you held to like a certain standard or you really cherished about when they go left, it cuts a little deeper. So that means like that cut a little deeper, especially if I'm a person that I could kind of get over stuff easily. But it's like with you, and you know me, like, and you just did that, and you was just like, F me, I think that's harder to get over. And it's like, yeah, I will forgive you, which it takes a lot to forgive. But also, forgiveness does not mean re entry. So it's like, I forgive you for me, but it's always fuck you. Respectfully, of course.
And you know what? I used to be so angry, like she's moving on with her life, like God is blessing her, and I'm just stuck. And I was so mad about it, but the devil give blessings too. And the way karma hit, I don't even want to see what's gonna happen to you. Because what you really did, like, it could have put me in a position where I was doing time, like I was away from my child. So you really fucked up with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, I don't know, like I could not believe it. And it was just a whole her going as if nothing happened. She living her best life. I lost friends, but I'm cool and I'm blessed. And I'm just like, I was mad about it. But once I got over that, I'm like, all right, God, I'm a chill. Sit me down in the corner somewhere. And it was a learning lesson for me, not to leave my guard down by people that I love and trust. Unfortunately, it happens, but, you know, we ain't gonna get into it, but y'all know how it is when people are deceitful and they pretend to be friends or low key be feeling ways about you and just wait on the opportunity to fuck you over. So in essence, that's just all it was. It was an opportunity to fuck me over when she had it. So, you know, you just think about having a demon or somebody around you forever just waiting on the opportunity. And that's scary in itself, but that shit happened for real, you know?
And
But
it's crazy how when people do fucked up shit, what bothers me is the subliminal post. I feel like Facebook and social media is like the perfect place where people find quotes that actually describe them, but then they try to post it like as a shot to you, and it'd be like mind boggling to me. Like, what you mad for? Like, How are you upset? Who did something to you? But then in they little fucked up brains, it's like they're the victim, even though they the one that caused the pain.
But that goes back to that boundary too. So when shit happens, you know what I'm saying, and you cut somebody off, you cut it completely off so that you won't see those subliminals and feel a type of way. You know what
See,
I mean?
I
Still
was the queen of blocking.
that's still having access of controlling your emotions. So, you know, to avoid all of that shit, if you gonna cut somebody off, you do full cold
Okay.
turkey
Okay.
all the way through
Okay.
with phone, social media, every site. If you follow them on multiple sites, all of that, like
But how you do that with family?
the same way.
Do it. Just do it. Block, unfriend, all
What
that.
you gonna do at Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh, I didn't even see you standing there. What's up? Go about your business.
I
Easy.
can, I can be at plenty of holiday gatherings where people didn't speak.
Yeah, I was the queen of not speaking. And I literally, you were sitting on the couch. The couch was empty to me because I didn't see you. I didn't hear you. You was non-existent to me. And that's just how you have to keep it, because it's like when you lower your guard, they gonna try you. And by you keep doing the same, I can't stand a victim. Bitch, you done did some shit, you finna be accountable. Like, don't switch that around. Don't be doing all that. Oh, I ain't got time for that. I don't deal with nobody whining about my child. You too grown for that shit. Own up to what the fuck you did. If I decide that I want to move on, we gonna be cool. That's up to me, not you. And people just be delusional. People really do be delusional. Like, don't be bringing God into shit because he saw you do that shit. He like, that's just how I be thinking about shit. Like, realistically, like, don't do that. Don't be trying to make me feel guilty, bitch. If you did it, you did it. Raise your hand. I did it. You feel me? I'm caught. Like, I would respect you more. That shit would go a long way with me. Cause honestly, I don't have a problem when my card is pulled. You feel me? If I did something to hurt you and I'm not aware of it, pull that motherfucker and put it in front of my face and let me know that I fucked up with you, that I hurt you, so that I can rectify my behavior. Because I do care about people. I don't want you to slide by me and be like walking on eggshells, because I don't operate like that. If I did something truly and it affected you, let me know so that I could hold myself accountable and not do that to you. Knowingly do that to you. Feel me? But people ain't built like that.
Have y'all ever been cut off? I think I never. I don't recall nobody cutting me off. Have anybody been cut off?
No, I do the cutting.
A little bit of both. So like it was a stage in my life when I was not accountable. And that's what taught me to have it. Like, yeah, for sure. But it taught me something. And I also like learned boundaries like with getting cut off. So it's like it's a learning process. So hell yeah. And it hurt like a motherfucker. So I know it hurt other people when I do it, but it's like this is where we at. And in order to get where like truly want to be, like, and like the mindset wise, you gotta do what you gotta do. So it's like no hard feelings there because that person did what was best for them. So
Do you wish the people that cut you off? Do you wish that they would have just been able to forgive you and y'all got past it, or you like, nah, I know I fucked up real bad. I deserve it.
no. Yeah, cut me off because like that like taught me something. So I took it as like a learning experience. So everything that like happened for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I never got cut off, but I'm sitting really trying to sit and figure out like when the hell I got cut off. But I legit be the one that be doing the cutting.
Hmm. That actually taught me how to start doing it because I'm like a recovering people pleaser. So
You like I recognize like was legit operating out of a people pleasing standpoint. It was like, okay, what do you need? Like whatever you need,
yeah.
I'm doing. It's like right now, it's like police.
I feel like I ain't never got cut off, but it was a situation that happened during my wedding that affected a friendship of mine that um that I truly cared about at the time because of a decision that was made. But it wasn't like completely cut off, but it definitely shifted the friendship. And I felt bad about it or whatever. But that's a whole nother story about weddings are blessings and curses. That's a
Nah,
whole nother podcast.
weddings are shitty as hell. Like, like, but I feel like it's necessary though. I feel like even though weddings are a beautiful thing, I feel like when you embarking in a whole new journey, it's just certain things that you got to let go and certain things that just got to get cut off there before you go into your next phase. Because the shit that get cut off, it low key be stuff that can sabotage your next journey. So it's like it hurts and it's like messed up when you think about it in hindsight, but it was necessary.
I've definitely been cut off by a friend or two. I used to be very selfish when I was young. Like I couldn't look past like me. So I definitely been cut off. I think that's part of why I'm such a people pleaser now because of that, like because of those situations. But family, I don't really cut off my like immediate family. I haven't cut them off per se, but I'm real like my space is my space though when it comes to them. Like I don't live in the same state as them, so it's like I don't necessarily have to deal with it as much as unless I want to. Like if they call, I'll answer if I feel like being bothered. If I don't, like since I got pregnant and had my son, that's the first like I haven't lived been a I haven't shit, maybe 7 years. My parents have never seen like where I lived or been in my house or my siblings and stuff like that. So since I had my son, it was my first time kind of like trying to let go a little bit and be like, okay, y'all can come over, you can come stay the weekend with me and stuff like that. But before then, I never really felt like I cut them off. It was just like, y'all stay over there, I'm still over here. We gonna talk. But you don't gotta come see me. I'm cool with it. I come if y'all go see one of my sisters, I come down there to y'all, but y'all don't gotta come to my crib and stuff like that. And I feel like it worked fine. The only reason I'm letting my guard down now is just because of my son. And I want him to have those relationships. And I'm like trying to get into more like, okay, family, we should be together. Like we should start these traditions again. We should do this and do that. So that's part of the reason I'm like, okay, let's try to work on these relationships. And I feel like this is my opinion. I've seen like my siblings and my parents have grown like in a lot of ways. It used to be like a lot of shit that they wouldn't take accountability for, but I feel like they've grown. I am real forgiving. I'll forgive a motherfucker, and I forgive them, and I'm willing to work on a relationship if I see like change in the behavior. Not just like I'm just gonna forgive you just because you took accountability, but if I actually see change behavior, I'm willing to work on the relationship and put in the effort to fix things because I know I ain't perfect. I done did some crazy, some psycho ass shit. So I'm willing to, forgive people and work on the shit.
See, that's my crossword road because it's like I got 3 kids now, and grew up with a certain type of childhood, and I want that for my kids to, have that type of relationships and traditions. But then on the same token, it's like some of this shit ain't unhealthy, and my kids not gonna experience that. So it's like if I have to stop this or end that, and you out, you can't come. If I have to do that, then it's like so fucking what? I mean, it's just life. Gotta look at my well being, my kids' well being for the most part. But then it's like one of them double edged swords where it's like, damn, but I really want my kids to experience that. But it's like, which one is worth more? So, but I mean, I'm happy that I think that's what's most important. You could forgive people and we can rekindle stuff if I see changed behavior. But the problem is a lot of people just fake take accountability and then go do the same shit.
And I
And
think I
act
don't.
like none happened the next day. And act like, ooh, we just gonna forget that slip there. Like that's what they do, for sure.
That's why I feel like I'm on a very immediate family. Like I haven't got to that way with other people outside of just like my sisters and my parents and stuff like that. Other situations, kind of like that's just who you is, and I'm okay with who you is. I just don't think that that's good in my space with some cousins and aunts and stuff like that.
I 100% respect that because, I mean, at the end of the day, people are who they are. And I feel like that's something that we sometimes forget. Like, we try to always get them passes and we try to come up with some type of fake ass rationale for their bullshit when it's like, that's just who they is. Like, we got to accept that this person will forever be messy and that this person will forever be a shit starter and this person will forever be this. And we love them for that, but we know how we got to handle them. And sometimes handling them is not handling with them at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we've been on here. I had a few more topics, but we've been on here a nice little minute. It's damn near 9 o'clock.
Keep going with the topics.
You know,
Shit,
it's Saturday. Everybody ain't in the house like we in the house.
Shit, who got something to do? I'm just playing.
No. You know what? Y'all want to do one more video? Y'all got 30 minutes?
Baby, I got time. My baby gone. I'm in the house. I love talking to y'all.
Well, I gotta bounce because Darius downstairs watching Malia. And I hear them yelling. And I was supposed to clean up before Marlon get home. So I'm about you know how if it's so funny, like I hope he ain't watching. He probably is watching. Be like
he ain't did shit.
And then like 30 minutes before it's time to get home, I'm like throw this here, throw this there, put this food in. So I'm a bounce, but I might tune in to hear this. I might put my AirPod in so I can hear what y'all talking about.
Okay. Well, thank you, Quisha, for coming on. We're going to do one more time and then we're going to get up out of here.
Okay. See y'all.
Okay. Here we go. Y'all ready?
When you parent a child, you just relive all of your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, too, part of this is newer because we're in an age where now everyone's in therapy or people are starting to really go to therapy and learn about triggers and trauma and You basically get re-traumatized through every phase your kid goes to. You relive your own stuff. And it's very triggering. And I hate that word, but it is. And you're basically self-parenting. You're parenting yourself through this process of healing, really healing yourself. Because I think I'd done the intellectual work of therapy before I had children. And then the healing work comes when you look into your child's eyes and you hug and you hold and you love and you soothe and you do all these things. That relationship is just like, that makes me sad that dads I don't know if they do get all that. I don't know. But it's beautiful.
It is.
And it's tough. When you parent a child, you just relive all.
And that brings that parenting through trauma. Is your childhood setting your child up for failure? Because I ain't gonna lie, regardless of how you were raised, it could be good or it could be bad. Somewhere, somehow, you experience something that could be considered traumatizing. And as we parent, we get this reflection and it shows the parts of us that are no longer healed. And it's either up to us to actually fix them and parent right, or that trauma could carry over to our own kids. So what y'all think about that?
I think I'm kind of like on the fence with it because by me like cutting people off, and a lot of it is family, is like I'm not giving her that family aspect because I cut them off, but it was also because of things that happened to me. So it's hard because I do feel like I'm setting her up for failure as far as like not having that family, but I also know that family does not also mean like people constantly hurting you. You know what I mean? So it's like I have to be able to create that for her. Like we have a family together. And it may not look like, I guess, the traditional family or how other people's families look. So that's something that I work my hardest to instill that in her. So I don't know. It's like it's hard to even like say that because just like the video said, like as we are like parenting, we are like also being triggered by different things. So it's hard, but we do our best. And I know that for like everybody, I don't know. It's so
Yeah, I get that because I mean, like I said, I'm on that same struggle bus too with my kids, and it's crazy because my oldest, he experienced majority of the family dynamic and the family situations. Like my son, remember going over cousin's house or remember barbecues or holidays because at that time I was not in a healing space. So it was me okay in a bad behavior, me going in places and spaces that even though I know wasn't the healthiest, we were still going because that's family. But then on the contrary, on my other two kids, I'm talking about three, on other two, that they don't get that experience. And then it's something that me and my son low key kind of miss sometimes because my son sometimes be like, dang, I want to go to Chicago. I miss my family. I miss this, that, and the third. And now me and him, and I look at him like, damn, I really messed you up on that aspect because now you missing something that's not healthy for you. Now me and you in the same boat. But then I feel a little better because it's like now I'm protecting my other two kids a little more.
yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of a struggle with me being a teenage parent, being a teen mom. I know a lot of people like the stigma that you can grow up with your kids, but if we really think about it, it's very unfair to that child because my son is not getting the same parent that I am to my other two kids. Like he got the immature parent, the parent that was still getting her shit together, that's still, you know, making so many mistakes. But then my other two kids, they experienced a totally different mom and they got a totally different experience. And I know I'm not saying that I was a fucked up mom because I never was, but it's just certain things that I know that I'm like, yeah, I messed you up on that space. And I'm woman enough to say I did it. And we both, I know I have to just be a little bit more proactive and fixing it now instead of him being like me in my late 20s and 30s and trying to fix it. If that makes sense. Danielle, you do you think that your childhood setting your child up for failure? You think that you got a good handle on it?
I'm gonna say I got a good handle on it. It has always been the goal to not fuck up my child. Like from beginning to now, like absolutely not. Like I don't want him to grow up faster than he has to. I don't want him to, you know, worry about if we gonna have lights or, you know, if we gonna have food to eat or if we gonna have hot water to wash our ass with. Like I made that the priority. Like I'm gonna be emotionally and also physically available to him no matter what. So because I experienced neglect in certain aspects, that made me, all right, we getting this shit together for him. Cause the goal is to always do better than what your parents did, you know, to you. That's always the goal. And even if you did, you know, have a decent growing up, you still want to do better. You can still one up it, you know? So there's always room for improvement. But I definitely will say my childhood is not setting him up for failure. It's literally setting him up for success.
Do you see sometimes though, like as you parent, do you see some of the things that like are you triggered sometimes with just certain situations and you be like, damn, you experiencing the good part, but it's triggering me like I don't know if you experience that sometimes.
Oh yeah. The whole me always being available to him. Like in every aspect. I could, you know, I drop him off at school. I pick him up from school. We do homework together. You know, we have our routines where, um, you know, Sundays are our days. Like when he come back from his father, every Sunday we doing something, even if it's just sitting here watching a movie together, being present. Cause like I said, I lack that, you know, from my mother as a child. And even though I did have my father in my life, you know, until a certain time frame, it's like, okay, presence is really the real currency with your children. Like, because when you're present, that's when you're able to, you know, teach them and mold them and shape them into, you know, individuals. So yeah, definitely for sure. Like I said, I will not have my child fucked up because of me.
That's the goal. And like I said, that wasn't my intention, but it's just, and I'm not saying that my son is fucked up, but it's just certain situations that that I know it's unhealthy that he kind of experienced, but he don't even understand that that's not the healthiest way of doing things. Because I feel like it's one of the things that we could teach our kids something, but it's not necessarily what you say is what they catch. Like we can have the intention and how we want to raise them, but then they can always catch something from the background. And that's the thing it's just scary because it's like you could have this intention and you could be doing the work, but then maybe grandma's not doing the work or granddad is not doing the work. And these are big figures in a child life that they look up to, that they want these relationships with, that possibly is not the healthiest. And it's still one of them things where it's like when the big family dynamic is not healthy, what type of setup is that for the child? Because then it's like it's kind of messing up their identity to family because it's like they don't have one because everybody is sick and you're trying to shield them from the sick.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you start creating your own family dynamic. Because, like I said, you know, my parents aren't involved with Blake, and his other grandma from his father's side isn't involved with him. And, you know, if we not doing something as a family, as far as like my cousins, you know, it's just me and him. So that's where I had to, you know, be creative and implement things like to start anew. Like with the whole Christmas situation, you know, I was very adamant about not teaching him like Santa Claus is the reason for the season. Like not just, you know, instilling God is the reason for the season either, but you know, people when it comes to like the holidays or whatever, it's just surface level. And then once it's over, you back to being shitty people. And I wanted to teach them, you know, this season is about, you know, giving back and being thankful for, you know, what you have and what you don't have. Because sometimes what you don't have is a blessing as well. So, you know, and implementing different values and morals and, you know, when you coming up and seeing the world for yourself, and it's like, okay, because I don't have that big family dynamic, I have to create a world for us that, you know.
But do you think that's something he could possibly miss? Because kids got friends and they gonna eventually grow up, and it's like when they get around other people and other people might have bigger family and bigger dynamics. That's gonna be a hole that he possibly could have. It's like, dang, I ain't never experienced that. Yeah, it was just me and mom. And if you get around so many people that's not the norm, it could feel like you the eyeball out. And that's what my fear with my kids, because it's like,
hey, you gotta be, in order to be number one, you gotta be odd.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? So people's experiences shape them. So when he does get around other people, you know what I'm saying, he gets to learn and, you know, be introduced to these things. And so just because he didn't receive it at a certain time, he's experiencing it now and he can learn how to navigate through it.
yeah. Lex, do you think that your childhood could possibly set your son up for failure?
I don't think so, because I feel like I'm trying to parent with intention. So like the way I'm parenting, or the way I want to parent, is to make sure that I'm not causing this lifelong damage. Like I seen this post where this lady was talking about how every time she about to leave for, I'm probably gonna fuck it up, but every time she about to leave, her daughter like puts on makeup, puts on like lipstick or something like that, and the little girl be putting it all over her face. And I guess she told her like, why every time we about to leave, you make yourself look like a clown? And it made the little girl cry or whatever. And I maybe the mama was joking or whatever, I don't know, but like she apologized after or whatever, and the little girl like a few days later was like taking her time putting on the lipstick and was like, see ma, I don't look like a clown no more. And it's just like just parenting with intention, just knowing like everything I say they're gonna remember, because it's stuff that my mom has said that I still remember to this day. And I don't know if she meant it or whatever, she was just mad what she said, but I still remember it. So I ain't saying I'm gonna be a perfect parent. I don't think any parent is perfect. And I know, like I be telling my husband, it's gonna be times where I may drop the ball, but I am certainly trying to parent with intention so that I don't cause no lifelong damage. Even down to like the way I handle things when I'm upset, or the things I say, or like um Danielle said, being present, showing up, spending time. Like I said, the last one, showing up to your little Christmas shows, like just doing that little stuff. It matters to kids. Like, not saying a big house and all that stuff done, but I don't really feel like kids really care about that shit. Like, they care about the way you parent, the way you show up, and the way you love on them. So like even simple as like when I come home, my baby only 3 months, but when I come home, I make sure I spend time until he falls asleep. And if I know I'm gonna be doing something tonight, like now, I make sure I spend a lot of time with him before then. Like, so there's like no time being missed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I hope I ain't fucking him up. I'm
I mean, I
trying.
feel like the question is not necessarily that we are going to be like failing our kids. It's just the notion that we going to get something wrong. And I feel like sometimes us parents think that we're going to be the perfect parent when there's no perfect parent out here. Even the good parents, they missed something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like not trying to repeat the same shit. Like that's the thing. Like, okay, yeah, you didn't have you probably had not a present mom, but I'm gonna be that present mom, and I possibly not as patient as I could be. That's something that I have to work on. But that's something that you might do better because you might be a little more patient. Because I'm definitely working on patience. I don't know about y'all, but I'm learning to take deep breaths, and I'm just learning. I'm just learning just to let stuff go and just bite my tongue sometime and just not say what's on my mind. But that's something that's been my issue since I was a kid. So it's something that I'm really learning. Tiffany, are you think that your childhood is setting you up for failure?
Um, it's well, kind of when it comes down to like my father, because my father he was like in and out of my life, and my daughter, her father is not around like at all. So I felt guilty about that. And then it's like with my daddy, man, we cool, whatever. If I ask him for something, he'll give it to me. But for some fucking reason, he be mean to my daughter. And I don't like that because my stepdaddy, him and my daughter, they got more of a bond because, they live up the street. My daddy, he live in Iowa. So make a long story short, my daddy just recently came up here last week. And we was in Family Dollar. No, before we got to Family Dollar, we was in Rainbow because they was buying the other kids some clothes and shit. So my baby, she not really big on clothes. She really big on toys. So if she go, you take her to the store. That's she. Can I get a toy? And she always get it. But I told her, I'm like, I don't have no money. You have to ask your granddaddy. So she turned around, was like, granddaddy, can I get a toy? And he was like, no. And it made her upset, and she like started acting a fool in the store. She like, but I ain't really asked for nothing. I just asked for a toy. He told like, you keep on crying, put your ass up there with that motherfucking mannequins. I'm just like, why are you talking to my baby like this? She don't see you every day. You don't fucking call us. So it's just like, if she asked you for a toy, I feel like you should have said yeah. And so, and I be trying to kind of force her to have a relationship with him, but she was just like, I don't like my granddaddy. He real mean to me. But me and him, we never had that conversation yet. So it's been heavy on my mind to like let his ass know, like, why the fuck you be mean to my daughter when you got other fucking grandkids that live in Iowa and you don't be mean to them and you don't fucking see her every day. So I feel like I'm
Boundaries.
setting her up for failure in that area.
You need a boundary. And
Yeah. So just like And he embarrassed her in the store in front of people. I'm just like, she ain't shit but 8 years old. She not a bad kid. She gets fucking straight A's. And you don't even call her and tell her you love her, but as soon as she asks you for something, you want to be mean and be cursing at her. I don't even fucking curse at my baby. So what the fuck makes you think that you can embarrass her in the store and curse at her? She ain't even do shit.
Nah, see, I'm one of the people that if I know you ain't gonna treat me right, you don't have the opportunity to mistreat my child. And I think that's that type of situation. I know you love your daddy and want a relationship with him, but you gotta kind of look at y'all relationship and kind of see that it's not gonna if he did that to you, what you think he gonna do
Right.
to her? And that's just his grandchild.
And see and then the only thing that he did to me was like abandon me. But when I got around him, he was not this mean person. He never cursed at me. I never seen him mad. So I'm just like, where's all of this coming from? So
But
just
you said
imagine
a
if
big
I
thing,
was
it's
with this
abandonment.
every single day.
Yes, it's a he abandoned you, so that lets you know exactly how you feel about the situation. If you was
Right.
man enough to just leave me, I know you don't care about me.
Yeah. That hurts my soul. Cause I'm just like, I didn't even tell my mom about it. I just held that shit in. And it's been getting at me. And I've been thinking to myself, like, well, maybe you should call him because when he left to go back to Iowa, he didn't even come and see us. He didn't tell us bad or nothing. He just left with his wife and they went back to Iowa. And then it's like when he came to my house, I don't be having shit to do. I like to, clean up, take care of my baby, and that's it. So it's like when you come to my house, you either be prepared to lay right here on my bed or on my carpet and watch TV because that's what we gonna do. And it's like when he came up here, I thought he was gonna spend some time with us, but he just came over here, came and got us. We all went to the store, dropped us back off, and left. Was like, I'll come right back. Never came back, and he was at his cousin's house, and then they just end up leaving, and he didn't even let me know.
Yeah, you need to tell him how you feel and let that ship sail. Let him know
Yeah,
how you feel and set that boundary and keep it moving.
yeah, I'm gonna call his ass tomorrow. I think he off.
You tell him how you feel. Bianca, do you think your childhood is setting up your child for failure?
Uh, no. And I think no, because she's only 4. So when I was pregnant with her, I was self-aware about the things of what happened, and what was my triggers and what my mother and father didn't do as good, or how certain things used to make me feel. So I started to do the work. I got a therapist. I've been having her. I got 2, so I had them for like 4 years, 3 years now. And I actually started to debunk all the trauma and the feelings that come with it and the memories, and, just trying to be the best version of myself for her so that I could be the best mother for her. Now, granted, my parents weren't the best or whatever. And I had my mother and my grandmother and my aunt to model my behavior after, as far as being a mom. But, I took things that I liked from them and kept it, with my own kid, and the things that I didn't like, I changed. And, the dynamic of a family, like in terms of her grandparents, Brooklyn got, she's blessed. Like she has grandparents, great grandparents on both sides, and it's just like, I don't have sisters. I think that's just the one thing that I always wanted was a sister. So to me, Danielle and Quisha, you are my sisters. And to her, they are her aunties. And to see that she calls them and is comfortable with them and wants to go with them, it makes me happy. It gives me a sense of me creating my own family, even though it's not what I wanted or expected, but I made the best with what I had. So I introduced her to them. They got their own relationship. It's kind of like how we was with Mio, my grandma, like it's just that same dynamic, just different, you know. So whatever I felt that wasn't the best, I worked on. And it's, for me, it's mainly giving Brooklyn the tools to think for herself, to trust herself, and to know that I'm not gonna always get it right, but I'm here. Like Brooklyn gets so excited, like for any little thing, like, Mom, I'm having a Christmas program. I need this outfit. And that makes me happy to go get it for her because she knows I'm going to be there. It warms my heart when she double checks. You going to take me to school today? Are you going to pick me up? We going to McDonald's afterwards? Like stuff like that. It's a routine. And to a fault, I'm stuck in that routine to where I'm almost forgetting about me, but whatever. But despite all of that, I'm happy because she knows I'm present emotionally. I talk to my child. She tells me how she's feeling and what's going on, why she's upset and whatever, like whatever it is. And you know me, my biggest thing is if you haven't prepared your kid to live life without you, you have failed as a parent. No matter what you got wrong in between, that is my ultimate goal, is to make sure Brooklyn can function in the world where she doesn't have a mom or a father or whatever the case may be. Brooklyn has to be able to thrive, and that's my only goal, is to ensure that she has everything she needs to do that.
I know that's right. We just gonna continue to do the work. We're gonna continue to thug it out, and we gonna get it right. Because I really do got faith that even though we are not the perfect parents, the perfect mother, not the model mother, the societal accepted, the society accepted mother, I know that we're doing the work, and it's showing because it's just a complete different. Like I ain't gonna shit on the old generation or our moms. They did okay because we turned out okay, but we doing 10 times better, and for that we just got to be happy about that because we doing better, and us doing better is gonna make our kids, they gonna be all right. Period. And that's all the question. Bianchi, you have something to say?
No, I was just gonna say, okay, standing on business.
How y'all feel about that situation though? I feel like with King, everybody mad at King saying he just want to be like in the streets. But I see it's a bigger problem there. Like that boy is living out of trauma. Like something happened to him as a kid,
He hurt.
and people don't want to acknowledge that.
And not only that, you can't take his truth from him. It's perceptional based. So whatever he feel or think, that's his truth. If you wasn't there, just own up to that. And evidently they wasn't. They musicians. They traveling. So that boy is operating out of hurt, really. Attention, basically.
And then on the video when they first start arguing, if y'all didn't hear, Tiny was like, "Oh, it was just a joke. It was just a joke." So I'm like, something they said something to him that triggered him, and that's why he put that laugh on there and went off. Because if you hear her in the background, she like, "It was just a damn joke. You need to calm down." Like they said something to him first for him to get pissed off. He didn't just go off just because.
These parents be having a lack of accountability. If y'all watch that show, like the Family Hustle show, like they've been showing like old clips. It's been plenty of times where Tiny and them, they just yelling at him and they like, all you do is cry. You could just tell like that's why that little boy is like that. It's not because he want to be a street dude. Y'all don't know what happened in that household. But sometimes people look at the people like T.I. that's Tiny and they think that they not capable of being a certain way.
Yeah, especially that rich shit. Like them celebrities, it'd be a lot of stuff going on behind closed doors. And I just hate when people be on the shade room just trying to talk their shit. But y'all gotta realize, like, these people without the camera rolling and that the pictures, they probably be having some crazy shit going on. And he probably ain't like that shit. That's probably why he wanted to go to his grandma's house. Cause it shit. Some shit he done seen some shit and he mad about it.
Yeah, even when she like, you sucked the pacifier till you 12. I'm like, what parent would try to publicly embarrass their son because they made you feel some type of way? Like that, it was just so out of line. And everybody was like, nah, I don't get like they bringing up the jokes like with ATL. And it's like, that man is hurt. Like, that's problematic. Like, what mother does that?
And T.I. got a whole bunch of kids too. He got a lot of kids besides her kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if y'all ain't recognized that it's only Tiny kids that's fucked up. His other kids that got other mothers, they are perfectly fine. it's their kids together that it's kind of like, okay, wait a minute.
And Tiny daughter, the one that's not T.I. daughter, she said that like she ain't have a good relationship with Tiny because she was always running behind T.I. She was like, it's times I wanted to spend time with her, and she was always up under him. And also, King even said like, I ain't never say I wanted to be from the hood. Like he was just like, we lived in a big house, and I ain't had nobody to play with. He was like, so I went to go to my grandma's house so I could be outside.
See,
Little boy was lonely.
Yeah, you can tell that's why he was always crying. Like I saw a clip when they was forcing him to do like a rehearsal or something, and he was getting why you getting emotional? You always just want to cry. This what you want to do. And he like, nah, if you listen, you will know. And she was just, you always crying. Get out of my face with all that. Matter of fact, camera's gone. I'm just like, and y'all mean to tell me that y'all don't think that's something happening in that household that got this boy out here acting like how he acting? But hey, what do I know?
Yeah, they probably trying to make them act rich, but these are kids, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they probably try to really dismiss them from the hood, all kind of shit. So, and then the other daughter, she don't talk to them. The daughter that he got about another girl, the one that was on the show.
The one he was sitting there checking her hymen.
Yeah, I don't think she really fucked with him like that.
That was problematic, and people act like that was just normal.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
But yeah, that shit was crazy. But we're gonna end it here. We've been on here long enough. I really appreciate y'all coming on. It was a healthy conversation, and I hope y'all enjoy yourselves. We're gonna run it back again. I don't know exactly when. Maybe in 2 weeks. I don't know. I'll let y'all know. We'll figure something out. Y'all already know this is Thuggin' Out. Remember to be grateful, be thankful, be blessed, but most importantly, keep thugging it out. Peace.
Have a blessed one.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.